What's up, everybody? Welcome to Forbidden Frontier, episode 11. That's right, 11, not 10. And was
Not 10.
last week.
Yeah, who put 10 in there? I mean, come on.
I don't know. It's weird.
I'm really good
Whoever
with
got it
numbers,
correct on the thumbnail.
maybe.
Big smart
Props
guy.
to the
though.
thumbnail maker. Did
Yeah.
you say big smart guy?
Big smart guy.
Big
Okay,
smart.
so not big smart girl.
Yeah.
I noticed there's a
She's big.
difference,
She's
I'm
smart.
huge.
She's giant, but
Like
not like
the thumbnails.
huge.
but you're not a guy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you know of. Hey, it's
It is
2023.
2023.
No, I don't cater to that shit. Do you? Do you guys?
No,
Not even in a joke. It's
joking.
good lord.
Hey, you
In
never know
2023,
anymore.
jokes
It's
aren't
2023.
jokes aren't funny
Yeah,
anymore.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You never know.
No more jokes.
Jokes
Anyway.
are racist.
Hi.
Jokes are
Everything's
racist.
racist.
Ancient
Everything.
civilizations are racist. Coffee's racist.
Cowboys are racist.
Cowboys are racist.
Silly.
Silly.
Let's go back in time.
Saying anything is racist, but
Yeah.
also not saying anything is racist.
I did not see that coming.
And mumbling, also racist.
Mm-hmm.
Racist.
Is that like slightly saying something
Yeah,
without
it's like in
saying
the
something?
yeah.
I was watching
That's very
Yeah.
racist.
Thinking about saying something. Don't want to do that. Don't
in
wanna do
John Talk's latest "It's Time to Leave Earth" video, which he does every day. There was organized shelves in your kitchen are racist.
that. Oh,
Shut the front door.
Wow.
bigotry of low expectations.
Wow.
Wow.
So being clean is racist.
Yeah.
My
But
wife
you-
loves organizing the closet, the shelves in the kitchen. So
Yeah,
I'll let her know how
Wow.
racist she is.
yeah.
Wow.
I'll let my wife
thought-
do. We've got the cupboards with the glass, so you can see how organized the shit
So
That's
they
is.
have to be.
super
Got to be
racist.
organized then.
Yeah,
Super racist.
Yeah, that's so
got-
anyone
you
who
got
comes in your
glass.
house will know how racist you are because you
Yeah.
you want to let them know.
No, right away. Yeah,
See, this is what you get when you're walking into my house. Pure racism in
That's
the
right.
kitchen.
It's all stacked.
Organized
Place looks-
racism.
Look similar to each other.
Wow.
the purest utopia in kitchen.
James Norman, welcome. Bigot? No, just kidding.
Welcome.
Just kidding. Thanks, James Norman. Josh Kelsey, thank you for the $20. I appreciate it right off the bat.
Hey,
Josh.
all right.
Josh is a good one.
What's up, Josh?
We are going to continue the conversation from last week where we were talking about ancient architecture and the similarities around the world. This will be this is going to be a common subject throughout the entirety of the show.
Yeah.
As more comes to light, because even that documentary we watched last week, those caves in India, I knew nothing about those.
Neither did I.
Zero
Those
about
caves blew
How
my
did we-
mind.
How is this the first time we've ever heard of that? That's the crazy thing. It's like these things exist. But
Oh.
it's like they don't.
Why are
want
these?
us
These
to
should be
know about it.
common knowledge.
Yeah.
There are ancient caves carved out by humans in
perfect
India
symmetry.
in perfect symmetry to each other, and they
Perfect.
have
Perfection.
You can hit it, and it makes the same hertz in the room, and they have different ones for each room. Why do we not know this? It should be
Well,
common knowledge.
history goes to the victors. They get to write it. They get the spoils of war, and they get to create the narrative. And that's what this is. And like, hey, I am a big fan of Western civilization. I'm a big fan of the free market. I love my
Yep.
freedom and my liberty. I honestly don't care where shit came from. I don't care if it's good to give people credit, right? But we're finding out that a lot of Western civilization either just coincidentally rediscovered some stuff, or some stuff has just been around for thousands of years. I was reading a book last night. There was a water valve in Egypt. That ran. No, it was in Rome. Sorry, Rome. My bad. There's a water valve that these like peasants were using.
Mhm.
20 centuries that thing was in service.
I'm sorry.
20.
20?
Did you say
They
20.
retired it in 1956. They felt, well, it's done its
20.
duty. 20 centuries. That
Older
water
things
valve
work
was
I
better.
saw
water valve, but like, damn.
an article was talking about this pool It's a natural spring pool that was built by the Romans in service for 2,400 years.
Yeah.
And it's still there. It's still open for the public to go and swim at. Like, it's that well built.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list. We'll go swimming.
Well,
When we go to the UK, we're going to go to
I'll
Bath.
find it. I'll send it to you.
Bath. I mean, I wouldn't go swimming at Bath, but stuff is still around.
Aren't those Roman baths like lead lined or some shit?
Are they?
What lead line?
Aren't they?
I hope not.
So are
Everything
all my
was lead
toys.
line when I was a kid, and we're fine.
Sure.
Mostly.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
totally fine.
Lead and
Oh.
gasoline brought down the average IQ of all of humanity like 40 points.
I think it's as we said last,
Maybe more. I don't know.
we're in a
Wouldn't be surprised.
post-apocalyptic society. Like the ancients were a lot older, a lot different, a lot more advanced, and knew of things like the meter before we invented it in the 1700s. But they were using it quite often, apparently, before we invented it in the 1700s.
Napoleon's like, it is mine. I invented this.
The French.
You're coming awfully close to realizing how awesome the meter is. Just saying.
No, I think the meter. I think the
Change.
metric system is a better system. It
Yeah,
makes
it
more
is.
sense. It's
It
like
is.
it's in tens.
It's so much
very-
easier for
very easy.
conversions.
I'm like a foot
sure.
and an inch and then a foot to inch and a yard. Why? Just go tens, like 10, just like our hands. That's how we do.
And a kilometer is very easy too.
I need to like relearn.
Whatever,
measurements.
Euro trash. I'm not going to go that far.
Hey, I still use my
It's
tape
good.
measure. I still use it. I still use inches.
I got a
Doesn't
tape
use
measure that has
Oh,
both.
learn what you want
see?
to learn. I'm going to stay with my stuff for my last couple decades on Earth and enjoy it.
Like I'm not changing now. It's too late.
Not changing now. It's too late. What's a
My
third of a meter?
my bathtub is still lead lined. That's right.
Right.
I'm in it right now.
You just can't see below the screen.
Got my
Lead
got my
line
tub
bathtub.
going.
No, we absolutely. I think we. Somebody. Here we go. Yes, Gary. I am 99.98%. What about the other?
Okay. Hey, leaving some space.
Convinced we are living in the post-apocalyptic era of Earth. Thank you for opening my eyes, Robert. You're welcome. Thank Graham. Thank Randall. Thank so many others
Mm-hmm.
for opening my mind to that. And at the end of the second documentary, which we're not reviewing today, but they mentioned like, well, what's the point? Are we just satisfying curiosity? It's like, no. There's a great line. I couldn't find it at the end of the first documentary where they talk about stories, where they talk about how important mythology and stories are. And this is how we pass on our knowledge. And the one way that the ancients can pass on knowledge was through astrology, right? And and math. And
Architecture. They went through that in this documentary of how they passed knowledge through in the tomb in Egypt of the perfectly symmetrical room that was like the meter was in there, golden ratio is in there, and it's them instead of putting gold down there or trinkets or whatever, they put knowledge in this room. The room is knowledge.
And the thing they kept on saying over and over again was like, these were their first attempts at this stuff. So they just like, hey, I'm going to build this pyramid that if you divide two sides in the bottom, it'll be pi.
Right.
And you divide, and if you, I don't even know the math of this.
They just took a crack at it.
They just took a crack at it. If you like divide two sides in the bottom or something like that, you get the golden ratio. There was no planning. There was no blueprints. 2,000 men and help from peasants for 4 months a year over 20 years to build the Great Pyramid of Giza. That's just insane.
4 months a year?
So only 2,000 regular workers.
That's insane.
That's what academia says. They are smoking. They are smoking like bad weed. like bad weed.
Really bad. Like it's got stems in it and all kinds of stuff. And it's like all dried out.
No, Göbekli Tepe like blows everything out of the water. It makes everything older. I do. I see. We don't have to hold back.
True.
Yeah.
They can say you know nothing about this. It's fine. It's just
Okay.
you were saying like civilization was only this old, but now we found something that's like twice as old.
Yeah,
So
how do
we
you
can now say
Explain this.
yeah,
Though.
maybe stuff's
Mhm.
older. Maybe stuff's older.
And it's
I've
only
seen
gonna
some.
they're
ahead.
only gonna find more stuff that's older. You know,
Yeah.
we still haven't excavated what's underneath Göbekli Tepe because there's
Mhm.
what I forget how big was it, Gary? It's like an insanely large site.
50 times larger than what
50
they've
times
dug up.
larger.
50 than
50.
Göbekli
Wow.
Tepe.
Underneath
Wow.
it, meaning older. It's below it. Therefore, it was built and dug. You know, they filled it in on purpose.
No reason to go dig there. You know,
Why
nobody
would they
wants
do
to
it on
dig there and
purpose?
find out what's down there.
So the one on the top is, was it?
It's the youngest.
11,000 years.
It
Yeah,
might
it's
be
the youngest.
Yeah,
Might be,
like,
maybe,
and the
possibly. I
minimum
think so.
age is like when they buried it was 11,000 years ago. We don't
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
know. They suspect it was in business for 1,000 years. So go back 1,000 years from us. So that is a long period of time where we don't know jack squat. So I think it's worth taking a look at and talking about. And
No.
They're creating their narrative, okay?
I don't want my whole degree to be worthless because I studied this stuff and everything I learned would be wrong. That's what we're fighting against.
So the idea is hunter gatherers got together,
Yes.
learned stone masonry and stone
no, they
carving
woke up
and
one morning and said,
mathematics.
"We are going to carve some T's, but we're going to put some hands right around the waist. And then we're going to start
Yeah.
carving in this thing called, we don't even have a word for it, relief. We'll call it relief." And yeah, it's insane.
You know those animals out there running around? I'm gonna make that on this rock.
Yeah.
I have a random idea. Let's just start doing it.
And you know what? Let's align it with the constellations
Sure.
to show when we built this exactly. Yeah. We could do that, right, guys? Yeah. Without any
I've
practice.
just been
Big, huge rock.
whipping my sheep around. I could take a break from that, and we can get right on this.
That's right.
Easy.
Mm.
I heard the
Yeah, sure. Makes sense.
one of the arguments is we're underestimating the technology of hunter gatherers, and I'm like, it's called hunting and gatherers, like for a reason, right? Like that you call it hunter gatherers because they hunt and they gather, and they don't have
That's
the
like
technology
the
to get
base-
out of that.
Yeah.
They have
baseline.
agriculture and
All they do.
What they
Right.
describe in the article is you need to have a surplus to have
so you can have
craftsmen
relaxed time, so you can think.
to do specialized work. That's why hunter gatherers were in survival mode. It's not like they couldn't do it. They didn't have time.
So I'm like,
Flat
I'm
out
like-
didn't have time.
so wait, your argument is that hunter gatherers were more advanced than most people think. That's weird because
wait.
that is also our argument.
Thing we're gonna invent-
Hey!
another thing we're going to invent for Göbekli Tepe when we're carving is abstract. We're not going to do exact versions of these animals. We're going to do abstract versions of these animals. So that's 2 things we invented. No, 3, because we invented cutting tees. Oh, and then we're going to farm.
Yeah, and everything that we carve into these walls
Agriculture.
is agricultural.
One
in
guy was
nature.
like, "Hey guys, I got a really good idea. Instead of hunting and gathering, maybe we can just farm."
Yeah. Like 300,000 years later, it's like, whoa, if I put the seed in the ground, something grows and I can eat it. You mean I don't have to like hunt some animal that could kill me back?
That's a great
Sign me up.
idea.
Sign me up. That gives me time to carve my tees and do abstract
Right.
carvings.
It's insane.
Yeah. Jesus.
I've been watching debunk videos, and I did finish that video I talked about last week.
Mhm.
It was Mini Minuteman was the channel that I watched, and the video is snarky, but that's kind of what YouTube is. When you make a video, you gotta be like snarky and stuff and whatnot.
No.
But That's what we do. Nobody would do that. But I watched some of his arguments, and he does have some pretty good arguments debunking some of the ideas. But what I do notice is that it's from a very technical aspect. Like, as in, like when we have the argument when we're talking to Odin, and we go, "Hey, Odin, these movies lost money because of XYZ," and he's like, "Well, the only things that I can really report on are the published facts." So that seems to be what these debunkings go off of, is like, this is what's published in the papers, and that's what I'm going to debunk you with.
Official narrative. Now, I have.
Yeah. Which is that's what I see from a lot of these debunk videos. It's like, okay, but you're not taking into effect any of the other facts that Graham and
institutions are human,
and Randall have found.
Institutions error, and they do not deserve any kind of blind faith. Now, that's a lesson I learned very young. So, call me cynical, but I wouldn't go off the official version of events. Go out and find yourself. That's what they even say at the end of the second and first documentary. They go out there and find out for yourself. Go touch it. Go see it for yourself. Don't listen to people. A lot of these archaeologists don't go anywhere. And a lot of them aren't stonemasons, engineers, and they should be bringing them with them, geologists. These are the people who need to be there.
That's what was cool about this documentary, is they brought those people. They didn't bring in archaeologists and scientists and stuff. Like they were like, "Hey, these are stones, and we want to know how these stones were made. Let's bring in a stonemason. Somebody, how does this clockwork work? Let's get a expert on how to make clockwork gears and watches, and have him look at it and see what he thinks about it." Like, that's really interesting to me.
What Graham gets into, and Graham is no fan of, I'm not going to get into a theological debate. I'm just telling you, Graham is, he's the son of a pastor or preacher, and he's not a big fan of Christianity, right? So he's not, or organized religion at all. I'm not going to say it's just Christianity. It's organized religion at all. But what he mentions, and what Randall mentions, and what people before them have mentioned is, back in the 1800s, geology was just like a hobby that pastors did when they were, walking around the states and stuff. It was just a hobby. It became a discipline later on. But it used to be based on the flood myth. And then as time went on, they wanted to really distance themselves from that at all. And we had gradualism, right? Which is certainly the case for a lot of things, is gradualism. Like, that is certainly the case for a lot of things. But we had this guy Brett's walking around the Northwest, walking around going, no, something really bad happened here. It's pretty fast, and it's pretty obvious. There's giant, boulders where they shouldn't be, like, just spread everywhere. And now that we have, Google Earth and maps, we can see the devastation. And who knows? But they still the academia does not want anything to do with the flood myth, because it ties it back to religion, because they hate religion. It's a hate now. It's a form of bigotry now.
Which is interesting, because science
institutionalized bigotry
came out of that.
Yeah, well, yes, it did. But science has become its own religion. Not, again, hashtag not all, not everybody. But that's really a lot of, I think, the source of a lot of bias. Like, it just can't be a flood. Oh my God, that'll prove the Christians or anybody right. The
guy that I was watching, so Mini Minute Man, he actually went on some other people's live streams and answered questions. So I think it'd be interesting to get somebody on that is like against it, and that we could throw questions to and be like, "Hey, what about this? What about this? What about this?" And see what he can say. But because some of those, I think I watched 2 streams where he came on and did that, where he was answering questions, and he seems cordial. He didn't seem like he was bashing people's beliefs or their questioning of these things. So I think it'd be interesting to bring somebody like that on.
And is that the same guy who made that video that you said started bashing Graham like right away? Is that same guy?
Yes. Yes. But watch the video. Watch the video. It's not quite as bad as I made it sound. It's more snarky for the sake of being entertaining than being hateful. If you watch the video,
the whole point is Graham comes at it from like, let's just seek the truth. Graham is like way more hippy dippy spiritual, common kind of, stuff.
And like he's on the forefront of it, so of course he's going to be like the most extreme version of that, right? So he's like, what do all these facts mean? This is like, it could be this, it could be that, it could be that.
Guy like wants to debate Graham. It's like, have you like walked where Graham walked
together?
Yeah,
right.
Like, have you just? Are you just like? Together. Are you just pulling from published papers? Because Graham like has walked the earth.
He's done it. He's been in Egypt multiple times. He's gone all over the world. I'd love to see that conversation.
What I don't understand is these scientific folk that are like, we can't talk about the flood because it's like religious. I don't see why they wouldn't actually want to prove that it was a naturally caused flood that then religion just took up. Because then they could be like, it's actually scientifically proven that that's what happened. It wasn't actually some a man in the sky that went, they're sinning a lot, bring in the floods, something like that. Because they could separate it, and they would actually be able to use that and be like, this is actually the proof that shows it naturally happened. It wasn't some act of God.
Could not agree more. Nothing against religion, but like, I think proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was like a massive cataclysm, like geologically speaking, yesterday, is kind of an important thing, because I think it would really refocus our attention and our resources towards something maybe useful, instead of, I don't know, charging people for CO2 bullshit, and maybe finding ways to stop big rocks from landing on our planet and ending our civilization overnight. And it's not just
it can happen.
Even a little one blows up, and we talked about this last week, blows up in the atmosphere in the right place. It kills our grid for a year. And
that's a cascade effect.
Yeah.
If that happens, so many other systems are going to go down if the grid goes down.
With the internet and imagine if for 1 year no electricity worked on the planet.
We'd be back to carving sticks and sticking each other.
Humanity would be fucked for a while.
Documentary, and like a lot of people would be dead within 90 days.
Dude, we were screwed when they just shut businesses down. Like, imagine the power being down, dude. People would be like, I'm
eating each other.
I will eat my neighbor. I'll eat your ass.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised you don't have that sound clip.
I do. Wait, hang on.
I'll eat your ass. I will eat your ass.
I knew you did.
I will eat your ass.
Yeah, that's right. We both got it ready.
Food, it's water. Water will be the problem.
Yep. I do not have a well under my house, so don't come to my house.
You probably could like around there. There's got to be one around there.
Well, and get a water filter.
I mean I do.
And you're in the woods too, so I think you're good.
I'm trying to say I don't.
No, your well is poisoned. Your well
just
is
letting everyone know
poisoned.
I do not have a well at my house. So
I've poisoned my own well, and I've built up an immunity to it, so I'm the only one that can drink it.
This place is absolutely freezing. Don't come here.
I've spent the last 2 decades building up an immunity to this poison that I put into my well.
Inconceivable.
Here in Texas, we live on top of an aquifer.
One of them aquifers.
Aquifers.
Dig down in the ground far enough and get some water.
Or we could just go to the caves, like a couple of miles.
Well, that's until they have another train totally wreck and dump chemicals into the entire system there.
I want to support our friend Betty Johnson, who was passing out East Palestine water for free to Pete.
Was he?
Yes, he did a video.
Oh my gosh! I haven't watched it yet. I want to.
I love you,
and
Betty.
that's not passing water to East Palestine. That's passing the East Palestine water
to Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
totally safe.
Didn't the sheriff come out and drink it? He's like, "This is fine."
Oh no!
I'd drink it. I would, but
isn't that what Obama did?
I drink prison water for.
You think that was really water?
Oh,
no, absolutely not. It's probably Aquafina or something.
No, I can't even say what I think it is, because that would be bannable on YouTube. But you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if I do.
Google Chrome.
I don't think I do.
You don't.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want. Like blank stare on.
X-ray. You know what he's talking about? I don't know. Do you want to know what he's talking about?
No,
I don't either. I think I'm good.
Is the correct answer in the chat somewhere?
Maybe.
I don't have chat up. Should I bring? No, I don't want to know.
Listening fat knows.
Just gave you a hint. That's all. Is that Google
good.
Chrome? Google Chrome.
I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. So back to ancient civilizations. Now it's probably a good
Anyway.
time to do the super chat. Anyway, it's a stream of consciousness, folks.
Right.
Yeah, we can't show the movie. They dinged us last
Yeah.
week. Like, you know, and the thing is, I couldn't cut it out because it was like an hour worth of the show. So they are getting the proceeds. And fine. It was a good documentary. I consider it my rental fee. And that's fine. Well,
They hit us pretty hard though.
It's all of our rental fee.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's right.
They hit us
We're
pretty
equal
hard. Like,
partners in the show, so
Copyright.
we
Yeah,
don't
copyright, and it was limited to and
uh,
age restricted. Was it?
There
was
we
that
go.
age
Roland
restricted?
has it. Roland.
I don't think so.
Oh.
There we go. Can't
That
say
totally
that.
went over my head.
It should.
Got you. I got you.
All right, this is for you, Adam, in the chat.
we can't say that on YouTube anymore.
No.
I've said it so many times. Maybe that's why they don't like my show. I also have 9 strikes on my channel. That might have
That
That
might
might be
some correlation. Maybe, I don't know.
possibly
9
have
strikes.
something
Some
to do
commonalities.
with YouTube being a little mad at you right now.
But not for saying that. I've never gotten a strike for that word.
No, well, have you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've noticed more than me that it goes through peaks and valleys. Like you'll get left alone for a little while. You'll be like, wow, I can say all this stuff now, and they're not messing with me. That's
Nah.
pretty cool. But
I
then,
just go to Rumble.
well, yeah, but then when something happens in the world, that's a big event. YouTube puts that freaking clamp down, dude, and it's like lasts like a month. The worst one was the election, November 2020, when not a single channel I knew gained a subscriber.
4 strikes for
Yeah.
election misinformation.
Yeah, and there were strikes
Wow.
everywhere. And then beginning of the COVIDs, and then
4 strikes for medical misinformation.
Yeah. One of our friends just got hit. I don't know if we can say it publicly though.
1 strike for hate speech. That's right.
Hey.
That's right.
Nice.
I got a strike for hate speech.
What was the hate speech?
I
Should I ask?
I was making fun of someone who was trying to get into a sorority, and they had a penis.
Oh,
Ah. Okay.
So
you're making
that
fun
was,
of pervert. Okay, well that's
Yeah.
fine. You can make fun of
basically, yeah.
That's fine.
I was making fun of him. I went in pretty hard making fun of him.
So as I was telling Exure Goo, wait.
I have a
before
gong
the
in my
show-
house. No.
You have a gong in your
Is
house?
that a
You-
gong? That should be
No,
in your
it's
I don't
not.
believe.
now.
I don't
in
believe you.
Conan. In Conan.
Conan.
I'm gonna
That's
have
not
to
your house.
Conan now instead of Minecraft. Can that be our new thing?
In Conan.
in Conan.
Wait, what happened to the
I wanna
forest?
F that
The
dude up in
Sons of the
Conan.
Forest.
We beat it.
we
yeah.
finished it.
That's it. All right, we beat it. Mwah, okay.
Play
It's
that game.
over.
Well, we're all addicted to this game
I was
currently.
watching you and Jane, and I was like, I saw Jane Theory's character.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah.
Even me,
Damn.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Gene.
Like, whew.
Wow.
Hourglass.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Amazonia, like
Guys,
yeah. thick thighs.
boobas.
Jane
I've been
Theory.
playing.
Lives.
I've been playing Diablo 4 all weekend.
How is that, dude?
Oh man, it is good.
Are you sure it's not?
I-
It's not
Like
like
on par with the
Look,
original.
Diablo?
Look. All right, I played Diablo 1. I played
did
the
too.
shit out of Diablo 1.
I
I
did
played the
too.
shit out of Diablo 2.
I did too.
I played Diablo 3, and my heart broke a little bit
Yeah, I didn't
inside.
like Diablo 3. I stopped.
And supposedly the DLC, I didn't give it another chance. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I was done.
This game, I've seen some bloody scenes, man, and it is freaking brutal, vicious shit. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like,
Okay,
wow.
I'll play it.
And
I ordered it.
I
So.
gotta play
so
too.
far, I've been enjoying it. It's just the beta. It comes out in June, but there's two open betas or closed betas. You have to, if you pre-order it, you can play it. So I made a sorcerer, and it's so far I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've just beat the first act earlier today, and I was like, this was
Awesome.
this
Well,
was satisfying.
Gauntlet is better.
Nice.
I know what I'm doing after the show.
Heyo,
Hey.
Ooh.
hey man,
No,
send
I'm-
me your info.
I will.
See if I
I
can
will.
trade you some good
Hey,
shit.
Diablo. got me through a divorce. So
The first one?
first one, yeah.
It's a good game.
Good game.
Slow.
So important.
Slow moving, but it's good.
Dude, it was perfect. It was slow. I could spend hours just on it and then not think about everything
Things. Yeah.
else. That was
Good.
great. Great escapism.
Cool.
We've got Sebastian Anon for $20. Thank you, Sebastian Anon. Says just watched that BAM doc. And that's the maker. What does the BAM stand for again? It is Builders.
Oh God, my brain is totally farting.
I have no idea.
Ancient. Ew.
Builders of ancient mega
Builders
structures.
of
It was
ancient.
a week ago, okay? Memory dump happens sometimes.
It's French, okay?
It's
Oh
French.
yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of French.
Especially in the second one. The second one is like all
Heavy
subtitles, like
French.
foreign movie. Badass Mother. That's it. Black man. Builders of ancient miracles. Thank you, Shiro. So BAM, he just saw the BAM documentary. BAM! And one thing that stood out to me is how the sites around the globe somehow correspond to the golden ratio on the magnetic equator. To me, you don't just do that for religion. There's more to it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
They really brought up and many other, like Randall like clowns this all the time, is like, oh, well, it must be for rituals. Must be a tomb or must be for rituals when we can't figure something out. There's those bowls in Egypt, right? They totally look like giant couplings.
The quartz bowls.
Yeah,
The ones with the holes in the sides?
sacrifices. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
bullshit.
Yeah, it looks more like plumbing than anything else. Like it's.
I think I think math is like a universal language that we continue throughout history in our human civilizations have found. We go 1, 2, 3. What are these on my hand? Digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you start to think about that and you extrapolate that, and then
so
you all
ableist
find
of you.
Yeah,
Just
well,
saying.
I'm a little abled. Then I'm disabled up here, you know. Just up
little
here.
abled.
Just up here. So we eventually will always find a way back to this language that we all know. It's like ingrained in us, numbers. And they find their way back to it. And that's why you find it all over the place. And then we can all communicate through the numbers.
Yep.
I just wonder, like, at least with the magnetic equator, who organized it? Was it a group? Was it religion? Was it one person that was like, we're building all these sites here. Here's the plan.
It to me, it was a civilization that had been around for thousands of years and have accumulated that knowledge already on a planet that had a lot more land on it for a long, long time.
Well, on your question, X-Ray, it makes me think of the Tulare current and how Tesla studied.
Yes,
I've talked about how he studied the pyramids and how he knew that it gathered the natural electricity that the Earth built up and was charging, and it took that and sent it outwards. So if this ancient civilization understood how to harness that energy, it would make sense if it was strongest along the magnetic equator, that's where all of their main cities and main sites would be, because that's where maybe it was the strongest. Who knows, right?
I want to see
if it is the strongest there.
In that clip where it takes the line and it shows you all the sites that are in that line. I also want to see like the opposite of that. Where are all the other sites that are outside of the line? And is it a situation where they're just showing us this line and it looks like, oh man, they're all along this line, like, but there's really a bunch of other other sites that they're not showing us. I'd like to see that as well.
What we brought up earlier with caves in India, right? We didn't know about them. I'm sure maybe some people in the chat did. Good for you. But in Peru, there are over 1,100 like marked sites that are known about that you can go as a tourist. 1,100 sites. Nobody could ever see that many sites. Now think about how many we don't know about.
Right.
And this is not a knock on
South America.
Peru's not America, right? So Peru hasn't been, it doesn't have the economy that America has. It's older. It's much older, much older. But it doesn't have people running around with GPS cars constantly mapping the roads like they do here. Like one day, there's not a day I don't go out even here in Texas and I see one of those cars, but that's not happening in Peru because there's not that many roads. So there's a lot of places that the people from Peru will know about, but tourists won't. And maybe they don't want us to know. Maybe they've just like left that one alone. Like even in the States, I was curious one day because I was going over the mounds, and I've talked about like when I was a kid, nobody taught, like I never heard of a mound. Didn't know what a mound was until I was in my teenage years. And somebody mentioned that there was one, there used to be one near where I lived. And and then in San Francisco, there used to be a giant one in Emeryville where Pixar is, called Shell Mound, that there's a freaking mall at that they wiped out. And then you find out, there was millions of them. They're just all over.
Bulldozed.
A lot of them got bulldozer, but there's a bunch that are still around that nobody will tell anybody about now, which is good. I'm like all for it. All for it.
I find that fascinating, finding things even in this massive population that is America, finding stuff that has been forgotten. When I was a kid, I would explore. I lived in the kind of in the countryside, and right next to my house was a forest and a bunch of space, and there's a creek, and we'd be all up in that every day of the summer. And then one day we went into a area where it was pretty thick, and we were going through, Indiana Jones, pretending we were Indiana Jones, came across a headstone that was like 4 feet tall, a stone headstone, and discovered a graveyard just in the thick woods. And we had historians of the local area come out and like survey it and find all this stuff. Nobody knew it was there.
No.
It was just in this very thickly treed area. Nobody ever went to for whoever knows how long, 80 years, 100 years. The family died off. They sold the property, went to somebody else, got forgotten. And that's only recent things, like a 100-year-old cemetery. What could we think of that's even further in the past that we've completely forgot about? You've talked about it before. There's areas in Yosemite that we haven't been to because it's so thickly forested. What's there? What kind of mounds can we find there?
We don't know if there was a civilization in there or not.
You should do the infrared thing they do in South America.
Amazon, they're like, people can't live here. The soil, although with all the trees are growing, you can't farm there. But it turns out there were millions of people who lived along the Amazon back in the day. There were giant civilizations, and they're just finding them now because they're burning it.
And the soil and the trees were planted there.
Well,
brought soil there too.
Preda, right? The soil that we kind of know. We can't reproduce.
Yeah, we can't reproduce.
We know what it is, and it's a soil it's a perpetual soil that just works.
Is it LIDAR? You're right, LIDAR.
LIDAR. They used LIDAR. Graham talks about that in America Before. Which, by the way, got to read those books. Got to read Graham's books. They're the shit.
I do.
In the description below.
Yeah, there's book recommendations down there.
Captain Caveman for $20. I love what you guys are building here. Have you heard of Otzi? It's Otzi, the Iceman, a 5,000-year-old mummified body found in the Alps. A very interesting story.
Yeah, that's the guy that's my inspiration for how I want to be buried. Is they found him in like an ice crevasse. He's way at the bottom, and he was just mummified. It's such a cool story. It's like the dude's like 2,000, not 2,000, like
5,000 years old.
5,000 years old. That's how I want to be found. Just like that. That's it.
I bet you he wasn't too happy about it.
He doesn't look comfortable.
He's got tattoos and everything. It's pretty cool.
Freedom Fractions. Metric never made it to the moon, says Brent Wolf for $20. Freedom Fractions. Agamemnon Fireman for $20. Following UFO deets, my neighbor was in ONI or ONI at the time with her husband, RIP. Unfortunately, no pics. They were on a walk at night, and it appeared over a house with yellow and white lights and faded slowly. They did not blink.
Ooh,
I want to see UFO so bad. I follow a bunch of I follow UFO Twitter quite a bit. There was some cool stuff on there yesterday. Don't know what it was. Don't
I've
know
not
what
seen a UFO.
I am excited for that Skinwalker Ranch documentary. When's that coming
I'm
out?
going through season 1 now.
Oh,
So
it's
this is
out
season
now.
4.
Oh,
okay. So there is a documentary,
Oh, it's different from the show.
and then there's a show. So watch the documentary first because it's based on Bigelow and.
I was watching season 1, so I need to watch the documentary first.
The documentary is by Jeremy Corbell, I'm pretty sure. So
Okay.
yeah, so watch the documentary first, which is on Amazon Prime. Then you can watch the show, which is on Hulu. It premieres April 18th. Brandon Frugal announced that yesterday with a trailer.
Ooh, a Tuesday.
Guy who owns the ranch, and he's dude. I don't blame him, but he's based. He's so based. So somebody called him out on it. Like, I'm sure the government would come in if you had anything unusual going there. He's all, in a time where nobody trusts an institution or the media, we decided to do it privately with very legitimate third-party people. But he basically called the government and media just bullshit. And he has, I'm sure History Channel made him, he had to delete the tweet. But I saw it. I'm with you, Brandon. I'm with you.
I see you.
I see you. It's all good. It's all good. But I understand if you're with the History Channel, you have to behave a certain way. We're never going to be like that. Okay. We're just not. We're not. You
Too
call
stupid.
coffee racist. I'm going to have a sip.
I sadly just finished mine.
You did? Your Crigler coffee, your wonderful, delicious
What if I had
Crigler coffee?
In my Adam mug that someone made for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
An
and
Adam
it says the spinner. Yeah, this is OG. This is from the Tim Costa days. Someone made it for everybody there.
Yeah, I saw one of your old videos pop up, like, you know, like sometimes before you hit subscriptions, they'll just give you rando stuff when you go to the homepage. There's you and Tim. Look at how happy. There's like 2.8 million views on the video. And I'm like,
we had something special.
Yep, you did.
Yeah, we did.
You did. But please order Crigler coffee from Adam Crigler.
Thank you.
And get the mug.
Get the mug.
Brand new black mug. Look at it.
Why's it gotta be black?
Because it's man. Oh, hey,
I offer both black and white.
Look, we're inclusive here. We are diverse and inclusive.
Wow, where's yellow?
Soon to be yellow. No, it's a yellow in the black mug. It's like a yellow hue.
I'm on the inside.
You're the logo.
Isn't everyone?
And then we have red for the natives.
We're all yellow on the inside. I don't know.
Natives.
I'm part native. Okay, I can say that. It's our word.
Is that true? Native.
That is true. Actually.
I'm a
is
native.
Saying native racist also? Oh, right. Everything.
I'm sure it is.
I'm native. I was born here.
I was born in America.
I was born right here.
Are we all Native Americans? Obviously not X-ray.
Well, yeah, you're
Native North Americans.
She's a native Canadian. Sorry.
I love in 1923. They pointed out that there's a Native American girl running away from a Catholic school who's abusing her. And she's like, why don't we go to Canada? And they're like, worse in Canada. Worse. Oof, worse in Canada.
Ouch.
Koa Lee for $10 says, at my last job during shift, my coworker showed us a video he took on his phone of a bright blue light just floating above the warehouse. And it was just slowly, and it faded away. That was Bezos. That was Amazon. No, I'm just kidding.
Skynet.
Yep.
Yeah. I think oh, that's 4 of 4. I gotta read.
I wonder if there is a phenomenon that we haven't been able to like pinpoint yet of ball lightning happening in our atmosphere, and that's what may seem a lot of like
feel natural to me. Like there's something weird but natural that
it's the movement that I feel like would
like
throw you off.
Weird sounds that remember everybody thought they were fake. For the long, it's like 2012, those started hitting YouTube, and good luck trying to find them now. Like they got purged from YouTube, but there were a ton of videos of people talking over them, pointing at the sky, and I think that's natural too. I think that has probably something to do with our atmosphere or something like that, but it doesn't make it any less weird.
Oh yeah.
Like completely weird. And you know, even when I first started talking about it, I was like, I just don't know if they're real or not. And then people are like, nope. And they sent me videos like, here's where I heard it. Here's where and it's just all over the country. It seems to have died down a little bit, but it was like really going on 2012, 13, 14.
Fascinating.
That's a good show to do. The Ukraine one, I think it's Ukraine or Russia. That one's the best video where it's just the loudest. It's like insane. It sounds like
the car dash cam, like that's
no. It sounds like they're just pointing out of their building, and it sounds like a god is dragging a dumpster across a street, like without the wheels. It's just like sounds like metal scraping against like cement or something. It's crazy. It's like
that's the ball lightning making that sound.
No, it's the atmosphere. That's what I think. It's the atmosphere making that sound. It's the magnetosphere. They don't know yet. They don't know. And there's also the mystery booms, which we've heard in San Diego forever, which aren't sonic booms. I know the difference because the mystery booms actually like legitimately shake the ground like pretty hard. Optics Prime for $2. The largest ancient structure known to man is the Pyramid of Cholula. This is true. Built about
I love that
2,200 years ago. It was hidden by the Aztecs by soil and discovered in the 1930s. So it was deliberately hidden. It is comprised of 6 inner pyramids with 3 yet to be excavated. Yeah, I watched the
Ancient Apocalypse did an episode on
Apocalypse,
it.
Yeah. It's insane.
Is that the one where you in the beginning of the steps, if you clap, it makes a chirping sound like the bird?
No, that's the other one. Smaller. No, this is the one that's like in the city. There was just like a mountain in the middle of the city, and then
that's like real close, right? Yeah.
And then the more they looked, the more they found out that it was actually built on top of another one that was actually built on top of another one that was built on top of another one. So you're saying like six different pyramids throughout its lifespan. They just kept building it bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? Is that it is in a city, right?
Yeah. It's in the city.
And it has that large courtyard
and it makes you
area.
think back to the Pyramid of Giza. So there's the tunnel below the Great Pyramid of Giza that was dug down, and they're saying that was dug first. So that was done before they started building the pyramid. So a bunch of people in loincloths and bare feet said, hey, we're going to dig this giant tunnel, and then we're going to flatten everything out perfectly, and then we're going to build a pyramid with no plan. And stone like that. We're gonna cut stone with stone.
Here's a little model of it. So it's like you can see like they built a pyramid, then it covered, and then built another pyramid on top of that, and then it got covered, and then somebody built a mission on top of it.
Dude, I want that model.
Right, the mission. Right. I think.
Yeah. They used to put churches on mounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wipe it out, put a church on top.
That's why they got rid of all of the libraries. Trying to replace everything.
Somebody said loincloth for the win. Maybe that's it. Maybe we're wearing too many clothes. Maybe that's.
Hey, I don't have any pants on, so I'm already.
I'll speak for
halfway
you.
there.
I have pants on today.
I have 2 pants on.
And a blanket and another blanket.
2 blankets.
One for each leg. That's good. Ruben Christopher Haynes, the great Ruben Christopher Haynes, thank you, sir, has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. $50. And Fully Problematic for $20 says most civilizations said there was a flood and giants. We're gonna get in the giants. We're gonna do giants. It's a little out there. I'm okay with that. I'm not afraid to be a little out there. Because
you're a little out there already. Just saying.
Maybe. Well, it was probably all the lead.
Yeah.
I tend to trust them about both, and not just because I am a Christian. The Smithsonian has been hiding giant skeletons in the Americas for decades. Yes, Jim Vieira.
What?
Jim Vieira is the man. They did a History Channel show called On the Search for Giants. But what you want to do is watch that History Channel show in conjunction with L.A. Marzulli's Watcher series, but you need to watch episode 6. That's the one you need to watch. I've
Watchers.
watched them all. Episode 6 has the craziest shit in it because that's where Brian Forster takes him to Peru to this private estate it's just like a sandy desert, but it's a graveyard. It's a massive graveyard that's been grave robbed to hell, but there's human bones everywhere, just spread out everywhere, and the grave robbers just wanted the stuff. So they didn't care about the weird things like the elongated skulls. And you're like, okay, was that cradle headboarding? And they're like, well, not really. Because they're missing. So we have sutures in our skull, right? Little cracks in our skull. These things don't have them.
That's weird.
And they have red hair. It's really freaking bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. But they go into
I got
that.
a picture.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Visual aids always help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's none of those the cracks that a human skull
They
has.
certainly did cradle headboarding. Nobody's denying they
They're
didn't do
weird.
that. But why?
The
And if
original
they
cone
did,
heads.
What happened to the cracks, the fissures in the
Yeah,
skull?
were
Well,
they fused together?
Were they trying to emulate somebody? We're still finding new species of human. So,
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that on YouTube.
Hey, if we were hunter and gathering around and I saw some cone head like that, I might take him out too. I'd be like, I don't
Oh,
like
like
I don't like the
thousands
look
of
at
years
you.
ago, you mean?
Yeah, thousands of years ago in Conan. In
right.
Conan.
Not right now. Not right
in
now.
Conan. Well, Conan is supposed to take place in a before time. That's the whole point.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
See? So I'd be like, no, I don't want this guy eating my deer. Take them all out.
Even in the movie Sword of Atlantis. Come on. And it was just a bastard sword. So
Wow. That looks so cool. I want to touch
you
one.
guys, you want some good stories. Robert E. Howard's Conan. Some of the best shit ever written. Best shit ever written.
Cull is awesome.
I heard that book's actually really good.
He's a
Conan book.
mad
Dude,
the guy
yeah.
was a mad the way he writes.
Texas boy. Right
Texas
there.
boy.
That's right.
And it's very not of its time with its colorful language. It's how it's written. It's very pulp, right? It's it's pulp. It's written in the same style ish, but not as H.P. Lovecraft. It's very first
Very
person.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool.
Conan is the GOAT. But yeah, I digress.
Yes, you do.
This one
Most
has a
civilizations
feature.
said that there was a okay, I needed to finish this, and not just because I'm a Christian. The Smithsonian. Okay, so that was fully problematic. Yes. So Jim Vieira also. So you want to watch Jim Vieira's show. You want to watch L.A. Marzulli's Watchers episode 6, and then you want to go to Megalithomania channel here on YouTube, where Jim and many others, Andrew Collins, they really get into. They're more into just the megaliths themselves, right? They'll get into spiritualism and what was possibly there, but they're like just really kind of looking at the places and trying to parse out like how in the hell did they get here. But Jim Vieira's done a couple of great lectures. I think there's 3 or 4 on that channel about giants that are fantastic. Fantastic.
I need to be convinced on this giant thing.
Was that skull a giant skull then? The one that you
No,
pulled up?
not this
Well,
one.
we don't know, but what I was getting at was, 12,000 years ago, there was like really big versions of animals, like really big, and humans have
People
to die
can
a
get
certain way.
large.
Well,
Get pretty
we
large.
we know there was a Clovis culture. We haven't found any yet. Haven't found any. A tooth, a bone, nothing. We found arrowheads, and we found pottery, and we found camps. We according to WG, there are mounds where they think Clovis people are in it. They're below that certain part in the strata that they know it's Clovis, but they can't dig them up because of the laws.
Dig it up anyways.
Dig it up anyway. Potato Radio for $20. Hi, look up Herodal's ladder work. He started with Tahitian. I can read. Royal Myths of Redheads. Read boats riding Goggin 2. Sloped docks using tides. Working back to India, who had ancient UFO service manuals and architectural text. I don't know about service manuals. They have their own ships, Vimanas, that supposedly fought in battle. And India is a culture that's way older. Like Western culture aged them. They're way older, way the fuck older. I was just telling
That's where those
before the show in the
caves
Indus
are.
Valley, over 6,000 years ago, there was there was a city there that had streets that were planned out streets. It wasn't just like, oh no, it was like a city, a planned out city and they had plumbing and they had flushing toilets. But then a few thousand years later in Europe, they're throwing their shit out of buckets onto the street.
It's natural degradation of society.
Yes. Ebbs and flows. Western civilization for $25. Thanks for the shout outs earlier in the show. Get Dutch Since. Is it Dutch Since on here? Anyone in chat follow him too? I don't know, but we will. Dutch Since. Ruben, Christopher Haynes. This is in 4 parts. 4 parts, guys. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. I caught a cold from Ryan on a stream, which is a little disturbing and slightly gay.
Just
on
a little.
Friday Night Tights. Gary, I have a real miracle with scientific and medical evidence. I was touched by the gravity of love. I am a man of science and I can explain it logically. Yet I was touched by on my face and skull cracked open, and energy filled me with love and healing. My body is transitioning. My jaw and mouth are expanding, and my voice box dropped 2 inches. My body is now repairing itself. My voice is now deeper, and my skin is shiny and healthy. My eyesight, I need to wear old glasses. No way. I studied Tesla and used sound, the healing tones, and deep. Oh, I can't pronounce this one.
Kundalini.
Kundalini
Yoga.
yoga.
Kundalini.
Yoga. Yeah. Ooh.
Mm.
I can't do that yoga.
Like
Connecting
sexual?
with the universe. It's true. Well, I believe in the power of self-healing. I do, Ruben. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you're feeling better. I would love, you're gonna have to give me a tip. I would love to go back to my last prescription because I'm about to get upped again.
I'm so confused.
And pretty soon it's just gonna be blind. So
Just gonna get thicker and thicker and thicker.
I'm gonna get thicker and thicker, and I can't get the surgery. So
I've had the same prescription since I was 8 years old.
Oh,
So
Wow.
30
You've had
years.
broken eyes for that long.
Yep. Maybe 7. I don't remember when I first got glasses, but
great.
I was
relief
a
for me.
little kid.
So long
Yep.
ago.
I was in 4th grade when I got glasses. My teacher noticed.
What a
couldn't
day,
read
though.
anything.
I remember that day
When you
Everybody
could
starts
see
taking
again?
you more seriously.
when I was able to see. Like,
The board.
you know, it
Yeah.
makes a difference. You don't think about it, but I mean, I just never.
As a kid, you don't know. You're like,
No.
this is the world to me.
That's what I've
all
always
blurry.
seen.
Yep.
I'd be reading.
And then I
comics.
also remember the first time I had contacts, which
Oh,
was
I
an
love
even
them.
crazier experience. I have them.
good.
I'm too lazy to.
Yeah, I
use them.
can't do them. I got messed
Yeah.
up eyes. I
Do
can't
ya?
get dilated either. They cannot
not?
dilate my eyes because they won't go back.
You're just stuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Mhm.
Just wearing sunglasses forever.
That would
Damn.
totally suck. Yeah.
That would suck.
It's some weird condition that I have. And we didn't catch it. Like, I've been to so many eye doctors and didn't get caught until I was in my 30s. And they're like, oh, we cannot dilate you. And I'm like, really? And I had to go to a specialist and another specialist. And they're like, yeah, we can't dilate you. Oh, well, I'm fine with glasses. It's been so long. I don't give a shit anymore.
Glasses are cool.
Mike Boydus for $20. Not sure if you guys have heard of monstrous moonshine, but it's a literal mathematical Easter egg in reality. If you get a chance, you have to look it up. It's wild.
I'm looking
I
this
will.
up.
So it's like a reality hack, what the kids call hack.
One of those dangerous.
You
Pieces
drink
of
enough
knowledge.
of this moonshine, and your third eye.
What is that called again?
opens.
Monstrous
moonshine?
moonshine.
Oh, monstrous moonshine.
Monstrous moonshine.
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 Oh, it's a function. Sorry, like a math function.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what this is. Oh my god.
So
Math.
Oh, it's burning my brain already.
yeah, dude.
Golden ratio
In
is tough to
mathematics,
understand.
in mathematics,
Golden ratio
monstrous machine or moonshine theory is the unexpected connection between the monster group M and molecular functions. In particular, the J function. The term was coined by John Conway. I need to look into this.
Cool. This is amazing.
Oh my god! I went to the wiki. There's so many numbers.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at it. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't
Well,
understand this.
It's like
The
that-
second thing I typed in monstrous moonshine. It said
The
monstrous
drink.
moonshine, and then the second one was simple explanation. So I'll
Did
look
you go to
up
that
later.
one?
simple.
I
It's
need
like,
to go to that one.
like Randall getting into his cosmic geometry, right? And
Right.
that's like the only thing from Randall I cannot get it. I could like you lose me, dude. 'Cause he
I'm too
starts-
stupid for that.
Off the top of his head starts dividing shit with in pi. I'm like, bro, I dropped out in 10th grade. Like I don't even know what you're
And Randall
talking
has a way of explaining things with a certain level of enthusiasm that it never wavers, and also this vibe of everyone understands what he's talking about, so he just continues talking
Mhm.
throughout like all of his explanations, and it's like whoa. I don't know what like half of that meant.
Could you go back
So-
and like say that again, but
yeah.
slower?
Dial that back, buddy. Okay.
Can you put it in more layman's
I
terms?
know you get to a point where, especially in his line of work, he's a contractor and stuff. Like it's probably just he's just so much it just comes off the top of his head.
Mhm.
I remember when I was running the comic shop, like when it came to like counting out the register and figuring out change, I didn't need the register anymore. I just did it because you do it so much.
Mhm.
But no, it's absolutely beyond me. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back and watch your 10-hour Atlantis thing. I can get that. I still have to
That's
pause
fun.
and go back a little bit, but it's like easy, man. We got Hannah G for $50. Hannah, thank you. Hey, Gary. I sent you an email 2 weeks ago about my sleep paralysis experience. Yes, as well as some other personal spiritual warfare experiences. Towards the end of the email, I mentioned that religion believes about giants and about the flood. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And like, I'm open to giants. I don't know if I believe yet. When there is pictures of giant skeletons, there is hundreds, maybe thousands of reports throughout the world of them being found. But we need the only skull I have seen that could be legit was on an Ancient Aliens episode. This is why we got to thank that show. David Hatcher Childress went to some college in I think it was Utah, maybe Wyoming. Went in the back room, opened a cupboard, pulled out a freaking giant skull.
Wow.
And you
It's
can't
like,
really
hey,
tell
what
at
is
first.
this?
You can't really tell at first until you put it next to a regular skull, and you're like, "Oh, Jesus!" And when we say giants, it's not like 36 feet or some crazy. It's like 9-foot people, 8-9 foot people.
I can believe that. I
Yeah.
can believe that because people have grown to that size. Guinness, you can go to Guinness, the world's tallest man. He was
Yeah.
like 9 or 10 feet tall. So it definitely happens. So maybe in the
I've actually
distant
seen that
past-
skeleton. I've seen that skeleton. It's in the Muir Museum in Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's like a 9 foot something inches guy next
That
to
is
the world's
insane.
smallest man.
Yep, but that guy that's the skeleton of the tallest man in the world because he had gigantism. Like he had
Right.
there's some gland that just
A
keeps
The
going.
disorder,
genetic
right.
disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is what I'm wondering. Like, is this a genetic disorder that is causing
No,
these
because the
giants, or-
giants are often, not always, described as having extra digits. So they got 6 toes, 6 fingers, and they have double set
They're
teeth.
mutants.
I feel like they
Oh,
need the
they
extra toes for
They have a
balance.
double set of teeth, and you can take
Wow.
a lot of the times, like Bartholomew Buford in 1908 dug up a giant, And back when they wrote things, they were trying to be poetic all the time. I kind of miss those days. And he put his jaw over his, and like all the men said, they put the jaw over their face, and it would
Their own face
easily.
Wow.
Check it out. I'm sharing. This is where I was, and so this is a regular size human right here.
Yeah,
average. This is the world's shortest man that they've found, and then this is the tallest one that they found. So this is
the human body can grow that large. It's not very good for them because they deteriorate at a higher rate.
It's huge.
When you have that, I mean, you don't live very long.
That much weight, and you got to pump
for
blood through your
bad.
veins.
No,
it's harder to do.
The stories of the giants that they told are, I mean, they're just bigger versions of humans. They're not like, it's not a genetic defect. They are faster. And then there's two schools of
longer legs
of mythology on them. The Native Americans have tons of stories of fighting them, and they were
fighting them.
Yeah, they were feral. They were cannibal. But then there's other mythology, a lot of it out of Ohio, where the few that were left were leaders, were sages, were wise men and women, and they were the royalty. And so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Oh, and redheaded and white skin, that's going to be a big problem with academia now. Like,
so they're racist, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the channel. You go. There's lots of lore.
Giants are racist.
The Channel Islands of California. You know, Catalina, and all up.
Catalina wine mixer.
The Catalina wine mixer. But it was also on Catalina, where a guy dug up a ton of freaking bones and made a weird, morbid museum out of it. Like, he took all these bones and built like cages and stuff, like weird shit. But that's part of the stuff they go into the TV show. They took all those bones and reburied them, but they were big. They were all of very, very large people living on Catalina Island.
That's interesting.
12,000 years ago, where there is signs, by the way, of massive fires. 12,000 years ago.
Huh.
Massive fire.
It really does feel like there's some sort of cataclysm that happened 12,000 years ago that really just fucked North America up, like really badly.
That could have been.
What could it have been? Like, maybe, the Younger Dryas. I mean,
ending through massive.
Could have happened. Sounds like it. Megafauna, like mega everything going down.
It'd be cool if there was giants back in the day. It just would be. Giant white privilege. You're right, Ramses.
What if it was like if it's a different version, an offshoot of Homo sapiens, that went over here and they just grew large, or they were monkeys at some point. They were like large gorillas that walked upright. Why
did all of this megafauna exist prior to the Younger Dryas, and why did they get so big? They must have had a lot of food. Oxygen must have been pretty rich.
Mega food.
Yeah, like why did they get so big? And why did they stop? Wiped them all out. Oh, it was a bunch of people in loincloths with sticks.
Yep.
Dad had no sutures or porous in his skull. Best guess is Doc's is that some kind of pill grandma fed him in his early 1940s because the kids that took them were like him, and the ones born after were normal. So he didn't have sutures from some kind of pill. So what?
Interesting.
What about those people in Peru? I wonder.
Maybe something in the water.
Maybe it's something in the water. So maybe it's all that dope they were smoking. I don't know. Maybe it's all that cocaine. I don't know.
I don't know what they got down there.
Someone had to figure out what ayahuasca is and
somebody did.
Where it came from.
The shaman sent the village dunce out.
Try this one.
Hey, try these two things together.
How does that work?
Get the next one.
I'll help you, I swear.
Try these two.
Take some notes.
That shaman goes through a lot of assistance, doesn't he? Buford T. Justice for $49.99. Not all giants have extra digits or red hair. This is true. I just said some. These specific giants are the Nephilim. They were once giants. They were normally proportioned. Yeah, yes, and that's what they say about the giants here. That was considered good. The mounds in America southeast, these mounds contain giant remains. They did. Many of them
dig them up.
Did. Well, they got dug up, and the bones got stashed away.
I want a set of giant bones.
What would you do with them, X-Ray?
I actually want to have a skeleton at some point, but I would love if it was like human bone because it's so different from the fake bone. But that's just more of my like X-ray portion,
like scientific
in life.
Right, because you're actually X-ray girl.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
We actually in school we have a bone museum where you have the actual bones in your hands, and it's so cool to actually see the different etches in the bones versus what they make for academia. But yeah.
Optics Prime for $10 says the Aztecs had one formidable warrior of giant stature called Salak.
Salakatzen?
I know I hear it. I'm sure I've heard this name before. Every stone he's bringing down its target. Hernan Cortez, third letter from Emperor Charles V, Siege of Mexico. Oh,
I want to hear how that's really pronounced because that's Silakatzen.
I'm sure I've heard it before. Please do an episode on alchemy. That'd be cool. Yeah.
It was better than Namor.
Namor. Adam, is DSP actually a Neanderthal or just a roach?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't care.
Fucking weirdo.
I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
I guess he did like a hate stream because I interviewed him last week on Side Scrollers.
I keep meaning to watch it, but his voice is so grating.
Yeah,
it's hard to
imagine trying to have a conversation with that. And honestly, I just felt like I was just being shoveled lies like the whole time.
5 hours of lies.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But at hour 4, Keemstar actually joined.
I saw that.
It was crazy. I couldn't believe that actually happened. But yeah, it was interesting. So that happened,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think he wanted to get it in a box, right?
For like the creator clash.
Yeah, no. He wanted them to do a podcast.
Oh, that's right, that podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, he got the two other guys that were going to do the podcast. They're going to be boxing because like they wanted to work with Keem because it's like it's an opportunity and they wanted to advance in their career. So,
well, Keem offered DSP last year $50,000.
Yeah, and well. As a starting bonus.
As a starting bonus.
And he turned it
down.
Right. Yeah, not just to do it. It's like here's the starting bonus to like get yourself prepped, and then like you'll be part of the show that we're gonna do. And it's like that's insane. My favorite thing is that DSP explained while Keem was live, while we were there, how he watched some of Keem's detractors' videos and built an opinion on Keemstar based on those videos. And I'm like, bro, you realize you spent the last 4 hours trying to convince me that the videos made of your detractors are not real. But now you're telling me your opinion of Keemstar are based on the internet, the same kind of shit. It's like, where's do you have no sense of self? He has none.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
60,000 uploads on his channel. 60,000.
He's made 60,000 videos.
Yeah, he takes his well, it's up to 6. It was like 58 or something thousand. So it's got to be close to 60 now. But he takes his live streams and he chops them down, then he puts them back up. I mean, that's insane. That is insane. Just to let you know. Since for 9 years, I have 1,100 videos.
Yeah.
And he has 60,000.
Wow.
The old guard for £5 Gary, when you get copyrighted, do you just take a percentage of the ad revenue or super chats? It just takes the ad revenue. They can't touch super chats.
Yeah.
And some places are cool. Like I did a Beatles opening in a Rings of Power video, and the Beatles are like, let's just share it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's do that. I'm fine with that because I wanted to keep it in there.
Yeah,
For artistic purposes.
It was a good intro.
It was a good intro, and it was a good compromise. I'm like, that sounds fair. Let's do that. But a lot of people will, I mean, I get it, but we didn't use a lot of audio. It was pretty transformative, and usually you can fight it, but I like the documentary. Yeah, it's just ad money. I don't know how much ad money we actually make off of live streams. I'll have to look someday. 3 Beer Thunder for $9.99. I switched to metric when metric makes it to the moon. Oh my god, they're just gonna pound you with the moon stuff, aren't they? Let's go. Taker 610 for $5. Guy,
did we get to the moon?
Well, that's a different question. I've had this debate before, and we can do it on a whole show again, but I say we absolutely have, but I don't know if the footage is real.
Oh, that could be a possibility. They got all the way there, landed, either got a camera, didn't work, got messed up.
Dude, you
had
can
to recreate it.
Well,
that could happen.
Somehow they had to get the ship on the moon, because with the powerful enough telescope, you can
there.
You can see it. It's there.
Oh,
So unless it's all a sim, which I'm kind of open to that too. You can see it. You can see the stuff. Taker 610 for $5. Guys, you may have got this recommendation already, and I'm sure you've already know about him, but Corey from Salty Traveling Sea could be an occasional guest. Okay. Note it down. Thank you, Taker 610. That came in way before the show. I saw that like an hour before the show.
Somebody made a poster for us.
Eric K.
Oh my god.
What?
It's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's amazing.
I look like
I'm Kevin Hart.
Makes sense.
You're Kevin Hart. I'm The Rock with like a baby face. Like, look at my face is all baby face. Yeah, a little baby.
Oh baby.
Oh, I love Jack Black, so I'm okay with being Jack Black.
Black's great.
Yep. He's got the best line. I'd suck somebody's dick for heroin.
Wrong movie. Wrong movie, Gary.
Still in the Jungle, though.
Oh, I was thinking of the Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Still in the jungle. Yeah, true.
So, yeah.
That was actually a funny movie. Did you guys?
Tropic Thunder?
Well, Tropic Thunder, of course.
Oh,
but
heck
Like,
yeah.
the one that one was based off. The Jumanji movie.
That was good.
Newer
Karen Gillan's running around.
Not as good as the original.
Of course not.
I can't even remember the original.
Oh, it's
Robin Williams, man. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I don't like the question in that.
I
was old when it came out. Okay, so it's just
great family movie.
Affect me like it affected you. Hey, now after Gary hit, I love Robin Williams. Okay. Hey, now after Gary hit puberty, he learned about all the mounds.
Hey,
I did think that, Eric, when he said that.
Leave for $10. I exist. I'm a bigot now. You are.
Oh.
Welcome, Koa.
Those are the rules now.
Yep. Bobcat for $2. Metric is for people who count with their fingers. Oh, Jesus. Look at there.
And I got them on me at all times.
Getting roasted. David Nelson for $4.99.
I don't care.
Gary, please educate the crew on George Knapp. I called KLAS in Vegas and left an invite to the Vegas meetup. I think you guys know George Knapp. You guys are not aware of George Knapp. George Knapp is a legend. If you're not aware of George,
we were made aware.
Yeah.
I saw this picture floating around the internet, and what you just said made me think of it. So I went and just dug it up real quick. So this the background picture is supposedly like a I don't know, really far satellite imagery or whatever of the moon and Earth. And then this is the picture that they supposedly took, the Earthrise.
While they were on the moon. And it's like, it really doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
Well, doesn't
add up.
Tons of radiation. Like, you are getting.
Also, what lens were they using?
Cosmic rays and radiation that would affect a camera, that would affect everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they got anything.
True.
But I could be wrong.
It also depends on what kind of lens they're using to take this photo.
People
It
were
could make
watching it
things look
live on
different.
TV. This all happened like a month before I was born, by the way.
That's what makes me feel like it was faked in some way, like a produced show. Like you were saying, like in 1968, or was it 9 when they went to the moon?
69.
And they were able to televise that live on
Yep.
TVs that were basically just invented, like 20
Yeah.
years
Using
before.
a digital
Around 20
camera
years. 20 years.
at that point.
Like,
It's because they didn't use the metric
Uh.
system. That's how they were able to do it.
I don't know about that.
I'm glad someone found it funny. Thanks, X-Ray.
I think
You're welcome.
we went.
That was real,
I think
right?
we
That
win.
wasn't
I think
witty?
we win. Absolutely.
I think we found some weird shit up there.
On the dark side.
I mean, do you see how? Did you see their press conference after they got back? The
yeah,
first
that's
group?
weird.
Yeah, and they're really stoic and like
They
depressed.
look freaking freaked out. Like,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
Why
I would
aren't you
be
guys
freaked out too
hyped?
if you saw the world in
The
your
blackness of
you
space.
could completely see the world in your view. I'd be like, man, we're so small.
That'd be so
Like,
cool
space
though.
is so large.
it's like William Shatner when he came back. He was like,
It's almost like a
that was really hard to see.
yeah.
The blackness of space.
I
love this planet. It's like we should.
Yeah, no, that's what Williams said. That, yeah, Shatner said that on his thing. He said, seeing the planet, seeing space, seeing what it really looks like up close, like changed his life at 90.
Wow.
So yeah, but in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book series, there is a torture device called the Total Perspective Vortex. So it puts you basically in a room, and it shows you as your true size to the rest of the universe, and it basically collapses your mind. It kills you, unless you're Zaphod Beeblebrox and you're such an egomaniac, and you walk in there and you're like, I am the most important thing here, and you walked out and you're fine, and everybody's like, what? But yeah, they might have had a little total perspective vortex situation, but no way. You go to the moon and you survive, you're like the biggest fucking Chad on planet Earth. Like you're walking like Vince McMahon all the time.
I don't know.
I
think later you figure that out.
Motherfuckers were racing like high end cars. They could do whatever the fuck they wanted. They were racing cars on the base, like regularly. Like they were fucking rock stars, man. And then they come back and they look shook.
Yeah, they were absolutely shook.
Kind of weird.
Okay, TVs were invented in 1939 or whatever, but they weren't in every house. They weren't in every house, and it weren't connected
until late 60s.
So that's a crazy thing to think that they televised something like that.
I'm gonna act like Generation Z, a Zoomer, and nothing happened before I was born.
It's all a construct.
So you're saying they never went to the moon?
Never went to the moon because it was a month before I was born. Well, I was in.
They went to the moon after again.
Eric K, I don't care. I don't care.
I vaguely remember the last trip, and every kid wanted to be an astronaut. Every kid.
Yeah, it was massive.
Me included.
Yeah.
Until I found out I was colorblind and couldn't join the Air Force. That was my.
Oh, that sucks.
My plan to get to the stars.
Yeah.
Fail.
Have
you seen Little Miss Sunshine?
That's ableist.
Little Miss Sunshine. You see that movie?
Yeah, I did see that little.
There's a scene where the kid wants to be a fighter, like fly jets, and then he's told, "Oh, you can't because you're colorblind," and he flips out and freaks out, just like he's devastated. Yeah, that was me. Man. I felt that scene. I felt it.
Well,
yeah, deep down,
too bad you weren't Captain Marvel and you just got back up again. Better, stronger, faster. Austin Montenegro.
Well, I never had strong female characters like that to look up to.
Yeah, only they made the movie sooner.
Now you do,
and you could have made it to flying jets and being.
You fight that colorblindness.
Do you just see in black and white, or is it certain colors?
Yeah, it's reds and greens kind of blend, blues and purples too.
So you have a big problem with like the Mexican flag and the Italian flag.
Racist.
I mean, I could see the difference, but there's certain shades of reds and greens that I can't see. Like there's some plants with like red flowers.
Don't let
I
Adam
can't see the
drive.
flowers. I can't fly. What are you talking about?
Drive. I don't want to. There's
Stop signs and stop lights and
Yeah, that's like a bold red and a bold green. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like shades that are similar.
okay. So
Yeah.
3D must be fucked up for you, like old school 3D.
What, like those
like the
the
red.
3D?
Yeah.
Someone actually just sent me one of these, like the magic images. Is that what you're talking about?
No, like the Andreas
green glasses.
business card that he has, the 3D glasses, the old school
Oh,
ones.
I have those. His do I have them right here? Oh, I don't know where I put them. The Andreas glasses. Damn, now I want to know where those
Such
are.
a cool idea for a business card too.
Best business card. I like it. Inspired you to make your own cool business card.
Made my
Now you got your
Pogs
Pogs. You named your Pogs after him?
No, I got my Pogs because of that.
That's what I
did.
heard. I'm gonna go with that. So
Still got mine. Did I ever show you my my slammer that I made?
no, you made a slammer.
Like a
Oh,
steel
that's dope.
slammer.
Oh, that's sick. Quarter. I like it. What's on the other side?
It's an 8-ball. Because a lot of slammers had 8 balls, and it's kind of a thing. My chat
homage
made
to the OG slammer systems. Like it.
Yeah, awesome. Get those in Vegas.
Gary's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Slammers.
You didn't have Pogs in your comic book shop? You don't know what I'm talking about. Get out of here.
Comic shop, but I know what I was alive in the 90s. I was around when they were around. Yeah. I remember Pogs,
okay.
and I'm like,
all
God,
right.
rocks all over again.
That's
Austin Montenegro for 10. I know, for a piece of paper for $6. Some genius came up with it. Austin Montenegro for $10 says, Gary, please get Joshua Reed from Red Pill Project to come on this show. From UAPs, Ancient Civilizations and Tech, to esoteric and occult and esoteric. He's former Navy and is versed in topics like you guys are. Hey, sounds great.
Cool.
That's great.
Added to the list.
Brad Beer Hunter for $20. Thank God I caught one of these live beers on me. Thanks, Gary. Well, these guys can partake. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm drinking coffee and water right now. I'm on the most boring.
That's all I drink.
Diet.
I'm only drinking water.
I drink. It's mostly
boring.
Coffee and water. It's pretty boring.
It's healthy.
It is. You guys should check out Patterns of Evidence. It's about evidence of the Hebrew Exodus in Egypt and how academics want to quash it. Regardless if you believe it or not, his procedures are solid. Ryumple for $9.99. The Exodus is fascinating because I do believe the manna was made in a machine, and I can't remember what show. It wasn't Ancient Aliens, but some show made a manna machine, what they thought it was. Now, it was supposed to be a starch food that they got from the sky, but they managed to do it with moisture from the air and algae. So it was pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting.
The manna that sustained them for 40 years.
I was just watching that Ancient Aliens yesterday because Samsung TV, which is free with my Samsung monitor, I found it one day, has the Unexplained Zone, which plays freaking Ancient Aliens all damn day. It's got a classic Doctor Who channel too. Pretty awesome. And I have that. It's on right now. It's always on. The Grizzly in 2 parts for $40. Thank you, Grizzly. Did you guys see that god-awful Apollo movie where they erased the flag planting scene because it wasn't American achievement? It was an achievement for globalism. Fuck that shit. God, that director was
what movie is this?
Hollywood turd. Was it Apollo? It couldn't have been Apollo 13.
It's not Apollo 13.
No, Apollo 13 is a shit. That's a good
movie.
That's
like super patriotic.
That's not landing on the moon. That's almost landing on the moon. No, no, I did not. I did hear about that though, and not.
Oh, the one with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
recent one. Yeah, I've not seen
one.
that.
No one heard of because they didn't put the American flag. Like, you're gonna make this super patriotic movie and cut out the most patriotic part. Good move.
Who got there?
Good move.
We did.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of course, there's probably like pyramids on the other side. Or something. Yeah. According to Richard Hoagland,
That's part 2.
Richard Hoagland is the man, by the way. The Grizzly.
Wait, does he claim that?
Richard Hoagland he's big on the Mars stuff, but he gets into the moon stuff too. But
so he thinks there's pyramids on the Mars or on the Mars?
Absolutely. The Mars.
The Mars.
It is the only one.
He's written a bunch of books about it. He's getting up there in age, but he used to do a show after Art right before Art passed away on Art's network. And Hoagland, he's still out there. I think he's still doing a podcast. Hoagland's awesome. He's an ex-TV executive, and he worked with NASA on the TV side for the moon landing, and he gets it all into that stuff. And if you tell him the moon landing was fake, he will go off on you. He will go off.
Oh.
Like Buzz Aldrin when that dude told him and punched him in the face.
Yep.
Funny enough, though, he was talking to like a 10-year-old once, a 10-year-old girl, and he said something like, what did he say? He alluded to the fact that it never went. You know what I'm talking about, Garrett?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna find the quote.
Wait, what the hell does that mean? Like, what? Did we go or not? Like, I thought you. What? Buzz? What are you not telling the world? Hey, what's up, dude?
The Grizzly did clarify for $5. No, it was in 2015. It was the one with Ryan Gosling.
Okay, there you go.
Never saw that one. Never will.
Also, since you like ancient civilizations, you might like the new Warner Brothers Godzilla movies. They do a lot of ancient civilization stuff, especially Godzilla versus King Kong and Godzilla King of the Monsters. They're good. That first Godzilla movie that came out 2015, 16, where the Oppenheimer quote in the trailer, that was one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It's one of the best teaser trailers I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, that looks badass. And the movie was fine. But the trailer was with Oppenheimer's quote in there. And then you see Godzilla. It's like, oh, shit, that is good. That is good. And then it just turned out, meh.
I'm looking forward to that movie, Oppenheimer.
The last one that came out during the pandemic, that was good. One versus King Kong. I
never saw that one.
That was good. The first I'm tired of fucking people. I don't need people in my Godzilla movie. I just want them dying.
I know.
I
want people running.
Yeah.
And dying and getting eaten and smashed.
I grew up on that shit. Like Channel 5 did the Godzilla marathon like twice a year. All of it. Watched all of it. It was so good. Bobcat for $5. Graham Hancock is about 40% right. But the only claim he has support for is that he's hated. Hence why CNN's his interviews with archaeologists. He does get a lot of hate. He does focus on that hate because he's gotten it for so many years. I mean, there's a point where you kind of get over it. And quite frankly, the debate he and Randall had with the skeptic, they were winning
on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, they're winning the debate, but like Graham lost his cool like way too many times. Like, Graham,
he is fed up.
Passion.
He's a passionate guy. And he's got a lot of shit.
When he lost his cool, the guy was purposely being obtuse. Like come on, like you're now ignoring what they're saying.
He's one of those like skeptic edge guys.
You,
like,
dude.
I'm a skeptic about everything.
Dude, like it was the same as Zahi Hawass. If you don't know anything about Göbekli Tepe, don't how are you not doing any research to come into this debate because you just think you're right.
Right.
And
exactly. That's the vibe he sent off. So that's got to be frustrating for Graham. Because like,
I think by the end though,
it doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what you say because he made up his mind and he's there.
Yep.
You're not having a discussion to like.
They're so close-minded.
I think by the end of that debate though, he was like, okay, I think I am in a place that I was not in the beginning of this conversation. And he understood that they actually had things to counter his questions with.
Right.
And he had to back down.
There's two schools of thought, right? Because there's Graham, who's been like, I am hunting for an ancient civilization, and now I've found more evidence for that. And then there's Randall, who's thought that too, and others. But then there's the scientists who just go, no, we just found out that there was this giant cataclysm. So one does not necessarily prove the other, obviously. So we're talking about two separate things. But if we do get like and I believe we will when we find out whatever it was happened 12,000 years ago, because the climate just doesn't turn on and off in very short periods of time. It just doesn't. There has to be a reason for it. It has to be extraterrestrial. It has to be a comet. It has to be like massive volcanism here. It just doesn't like, the climate is very gradual. So something had to knock the earth out of
do it that suddenly.
Yeah.
do it that suddenly, and then again for it to go back on, basically, because essentially the ice age was ending and it was getting warmer than it was today. Then the ice age immediately restarted for 1,000 years and then ended abruptly. So like, what the hell caused that? It had to be a cataclysm. So that would explain why we have so many giant structures strewn about like kids were like knocking over their Legos. It would just make a lot of sense, especially in South America. But there's evidence of that in Egypt too, all over the place, and in Turkey and in Syria, everywhere.
Yeah. And something with Graham is as like a scientist overall, he's asking questions like, why haven't we answered these questions? And he's trying to find the evidence to build on his theory. He didn't say this is definitely what's happened. I have evidence to support that this maybe happened. So
this is fitting the theory.
I'm building a hypothesis. He's not even into the theory part.
That's true. Yeah, it's even earlier than that.
Randall explained that the other day. He's like, Graham doesn't have a theory. He has a hypothesis that he's starting, that he's been working on for decades, going everywhere. So to dismiss the man, like, listen, when Graham and Joe get way into the weeds on ayahuasca, and it's like, okay, I get it. You like psychedelics. I like psychedelics too. I don't think psychedelics are the answer for all civilization and all of your woes. Okay, I just don't. Having experienced with a lot of them, they're not. They're just not. They're cool, and as
it's
far
just connected to Earth, man, and opens our brain.
Yeah.
Makes us
you can't really
think about more
necessarily.
things,
You can get addicted to the experience, but you can't get addicted to them. Like anybody can get addicted to something, but like I don't want to get too into this, but like acid, for example, you can't just drop acid the next day.
It's not cool down period.
It's not going to work the same. It uses.
I knew people who tried it anyway.
Oh, they try it all the time. They try it all the time, but it doesn't have near the same effect. You got to let it breathe. Take a couple days off minimum for it to have maximum effect again. It's weird, and it also counteracts like other drugs immediately. Like it just knocks them dead, and then other drugs will knock your acid trip out, like they'll stop it in an instant. But psychedelics are not they might be good for certain specialized treatments and micro doses after, people who are much smarter than me have figured it out. But I don't think they're the end all be all. I think being sober to me is the end all be all. But that's me.
Clear
head. Jacob for $2. Do you get the email about the haplogroup migrations? I did. I need to read it through. My wife notified me of it. Thank you. And I saw that, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And like humans, I'm not saying humans couldn't have migrated on their own. I'm pretty sure they did. They just had a lot more land to migrate on. It was probably a little easier to get across the ocean 12,000 years ago.
Except for those short-nosed bears. Those will take you out.
Those short-faced bears they're basically bear cats. Okay. They're bears.
Yeah, they're
huge.
Head.
They're huge, but they're fucking fast. Those things were fast. And they would eat you. Brent Wolf for $20. Not sure I believe in giants as a race, but as more of a common series of exceptional humans in the same way there were dwarves. Sure. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, I don't know if it's race, genetics. I don't know. I have no idea, because the one giant picture that I saw of a giant skeleton that was dug up that looks legit, looks very Native American, very, very Native American.
The skeleton does.
The
The
skeleton.
skeleton. Well, it's a skeleton, but there's flesh on it still.
Okay.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
mummified.
Oh,
bits
I'll
on
show
it.
you
I
the
was
picture.
gonna say.
I'll show you the picture.
I got that quote from Buzz Aldrin, by the way.
Yeah, I see it there.
Child said, why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time? Aldrin, that's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know. But I think I know because we didn't go there, period. That's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past if we want to keep it going. I think maybe he's just getting old. Having a tough time formulating thoughts. I understand you, bro.
Because we didn't go there. What does that mean?
Yeah, but I think I know because we didn't go there. That's the way it happened. What does that mean?
Was he admitting to not going, or what did that mean?
Like he's trying to
I don't
formulate some
understand.
kind of thought that I'm not picking up on.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But he also will knock you out if
It
you say
doesn't
you
answer
didn't
a
go.
question.
Yeah,
Doesn't
maybe
answer
he
a
was
question.
just like freaking old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
maybe it's just like, hey, I've been here for like 4 hours. I've been talking to 18 million 8-year-olds. I'm answering all their dumb little 8-year-old questions. Hey, we didn't go there.
all right. So this is an article I read a while ago, and what I didn't know is a lot of
Okay, I'm
a lot of
seeing.
Native Americans were just fucking tall.
What the heck?
A lot of these
I
guys
didn't
were
get
tall.
none of that.
Here's the picture I'm talking about right here.
Holy jeez!
Yo, what the heck?
Sure, those two aren't midgets though.
That's not a perspective thing. They don't have that guy closer.
Not sure. But this picture's been around since I was a kid. So,
I think I've seen this
oh,
picture
bro.
before.
but there's also, there were tribes in South America of extremely, like, the women were 7 foot, the dudes were 8 foot.
Wow.
You know,
Well,
So
are you
that's-
saying there's a definite difference in the height of the men versus the women?
I am.
It's so sexist of you.
I know.
God,
And racist in some way.
Racist. It's also racist. Yeah, and appropriated some culture somewhere.
That's crazy though. That guy's tall as heck.
Yeah, it says your average white dude back then was 5'6", right? Your average Sioux was 5'8", 5'9", but then I think Sitting Bull, one of the ones, they're all well over 6 feet, 6'5", 6'6", big dudes.
That's insane.
So it's a
Big
combination between
Ned
us being
Burke, Chief
shorter.
Griffith
and
was
then-
Wait, bring that
Believe-
picture up again. Bring that picture up again.
Lewis Carr.
I just want to compare something. Oh,
That's
Oh,
not
okay.
doesn't help. I thought I was-
okay. No, that's fine. Look at where the guy, like the shorter guy's head, like meet
Yeah.
up with the now.
So I got their
Show
elbow.
show this image again. The
Now
one I'm
what?
sharing. Now show the one I'm sharing again.
Where's the one you're sharing? All right.
Seem familiar?
I pulled it up.
That was it.
I got
That was it. Seem familiar? It's the same shit. Like the difference, they were like right up, like
The
in the
natives are
midsection.
a little bit taller.
Natives
But
a little
about,
bit
about
taller.
there,
I think
yeah.
taller.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
close.
think
It's
he is.
close. But those guys are probably, like, let's say their average height for people back then, which is 5'6".
Right.
I mean, what's the average height now?
No
Average
idea.
male height.
5'9". I'm gonna
I'd
guess.
say probably 5'9".
Probably
5'9"
that.
for
5'9".
a male and 5'4" for a female.
5'4".
Hey, I'm a
Short.
tall man then. Look at that. I'm 5'10". Above
Power
average.
over
Here we
all
go.
of you.
Everybody's above average.
I'm
Everybody-
not gonna make that joke.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but
It's interesting. Yeah. I don't, like I said, I'm open to giants. I need to see a lot more evidence, but
Yeah.
it's a fun idea. It's a fun idea. And Jim Vieira is very, very serious. That is a serious dude. That's a serious dude. John Mewald for $10 says, what does
Phi.
Phi, so phi, there's pi and there's
Phi.
Phi.
Yeah.
All right. The golden ratio tell us about our existence. If one mathematical method can calculate sunflowers, galaxies, seashells, great art, etc., there is an intelligent behind nature. Absolutely.
A design, you could say.
Absolutely. There is a design. It was planned, which I've always thought.
Simulation?
I don't know.
Well, what is the creation other than a simulation? That's what God is doing. If God created us, it's a simulation. He's creating a Similac version of himself down here.
No, John, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm not an atheist. I'm not an atheist. Ventus Bruma for $5. Have you heard of Sage Mountain in Montana? It's more weathered than most, but there are megalithic structures like, I'm going to sneeze, in Egypt. It's
South America there.
I thought that was a comment on how to say the word.
No.
I was actually going to sneeze. So we saw pictures of those. And like Adam, you showed them, right? And we're like, what the fuck is this? I didn't know there was megaliths in Montana. And
that's what they seem to be. Yeah.
They look like it.
Yeah, they do.
They look like it. We need to go there.
I'd love to go see it.
We need to go. But thank you. Yeah. Adam was the first person to show me. I was like, what the fuck is that? Jabber J for $49.99. Is it possible that Asgard, Mountain Olympus, and ancient real places that shared the same fate of Atlantis, maybe even God himself, are stories that survived the apocalypse of 12,000 years ago? Great show, and see you all in North Carolina. Cheers, you. Maybe.
I always thought, like the Greek myths, stuff like that, are just memory of actual events passed down through story. Eventually it becomes myth.
Well, Sumer is the basis for a lot of stuff. But we're finding out that was passed on from Göbekli Tepe. So,
or the people who made Göbekli Tepe, though.
Yeah, who we have no clue who they were and where they went. Tricky.
They're chilling underground on Mars right now.
Probably.
The Mars.
They're hanging at the Mars.
Excuse me.
The Mars. It's actually a bar.
Oh.
Tricky for $10 says,
I want to go there.
I got caught up in playing Conan Age of Empires and missed most of the show. The game is addictive. Don't worry, Gary. The doors are very easy to find. Well, I can't play 3 video games. That's just
Diablo 4. Diablo
I'll
4.
probably play Hogwarts a couple more times and get bored of it until there's multiplayer. And then I'll go to Conan. I'll switch between Conan and Witcher. But if Diablo takes me, I'm gone. I'm gone.
It comes out in June. It's not out yet, and
Yeah.
it's only open yesterday and today, and then next weekend for 2 days, and then I don't know when the next beta will be.
Yeah, I'll just go to Witcher and Conan.
Well, it's so good. I'm gonna miss it tomorrow.
Massive lifetime Conan fan. And I had that's what I was like, is this game new? Because I downloaded like 2 Conan games on my.
It's only $10 right now.
It's $10.
$10. It's on sale.
Shit,
15 in Canada.
You guys change games that you play like people change.
Yeah, when we finish the game, we move on to another.
Az plays every game all the way through streaming for multiple hours. I play for 2 hours is my max, man. I can't go 2 hours.
8 to 14 hours streaming.
I get ants in my pants. I got to go somewhere. I got to go do something.
Got to walk around.
I did an 8-hour gaming stream last week, and I couldn't believe I streamed for that long.
Yeah.
I think I might do like a mega stream this week and just finish Hogwarts Legacy. Just get it.
Get it
done.
Yeah, I got to get
Blab says it's actually pretty long. She's been streaming when she can, and she's like, I'm only like 70% through right now.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's good. I like that.
3 Beer Thunder for $4.99. Hunter gatherers were so dumb. They should have just went to Costco and got a freezer and a side of beef, even an oven with pots and pans. Costco has it all. It does. God bless Costco.
They make beef jerky.
Welcome
What are
to
they doing out there
Costco.
I
I
love
hunting?
Costco.
Except, did you know they had refrigerators in Scandinavia?
I
And
still have one. It's like
Iran
160 years old.
How's it?
and
With like they
Pakistan.
bring blocks of ice,
Well, they well in
No, they dig
Scandinavia,
down.
like the Three
they just
Stooges.
dug holes in the ground, and the
It's called a
snow
root cellar.
would stay cold, or ice would stay cold. But
Oh.
they'd also do this in Pakistan, which is India, where they dig these holes and they put a spiral roof on it that's grooved. And what it does is it gets it's faced in a certain direction where it brings the cooler air from the north in and deflects all the other, even in the middle of summer, so you can keep food down there. Also, Rome did this, Greece did this. I'm reading a book where there's like versions of, they had central heating in Rome in certain buildings. Like only the uber elites had all this shit, by the way.
And
So-
I heard about that too, and it's better than, like today we'll have those heated floors because they have like the heat elements under them. Back then in Rome, they'd have heated floors and walls because they would run the hot water through the
Pipes.
floor, or under they'd have like a furnace kind of room where they'd be burning constantly, and it would heat all the way up because they had these certain bricks that they had holes that would flow all the way through the walls, so it would like heat your floor and your walls and your ceiling and your next floor.
I need some of that in my life. I'll tell you what.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
It's cold, man.
It is. It's cold in my house.
Yeah, this book I'm reading is crazy. I also like, I mean, it's not like technology or anything, but they found these clay, and they still make them today, but like back in the day, they found these clay whistles, and they're called death whistles. Like the Aztecs had them, but they got them from probably the Olmec culture. And it's a clay whistle that's made a specific way that if you blow it, it sounds like a woman dying and screaming. Or you can do it with animals too. It can mimic certain animals. And when they found some broken, like they found a guy, like a beheaded guy sacrificed, right? And he had two of these clay whistles in his hands. They were able to break them open and see like how they designed it. And they're very specifically designed to mimic actual animal noises or human scream. Like the Aztecs were dark, man. Screaming in terror. And these things go way the hell back. It's like, who came up with that? He was like, I want to make a death whistle. I want to make this clay thing that sounds like a woman screaming while she's dying. Cool.
Nice.
No,
Brent,
I'm good.
Brent Wolf for $20 on a mote of dust suspended on a sunbeam. In a sunbeam, says Carl Sagan. Yes. John Wayne drinks SJW tears for $10. Hail, John Wayne. Please check out Tom McDonald's latest video, End of the World. It's one hell of a good song with a serious message, but the video is satirical with UFOs, cow abductions, tinfoil hats, and that chorus. I'll check it out. I like Tom.
I haven't seen it,
Yeah,
actually. I like Tom a lot. His music's great.
Yep. Nathan Sherwood for $5. Speaking of collapsed civilization, 187 banks are said to be in the same position as SVB. Hope you all bought gold and Bitcoin. Well, I didn't. I don't understand, nor will I ever try to understand Bitcoin. Gold, yeah, I can get behind gold.
Gold makes
sense. But I would like buy it. I'm not going to buy it and get a note back. I'll buy a bar of gold or something. Just keep it.
Well, hey, the government assures you up to what's that, like $1 million or something?
Well, I mean,
250,000.
250,000.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close. We bailed out a bunch of fucking millionaires.
It's $250,000.
We bailed out
Exactly.
a bunch of millionaires.
That's it. That's it right there.
Maximum weed for $2.49.99. You would love Robert Sepper. Just unbanned on Twitter, back on YouTube. 4 great short books. World's Most Dangerous Anthropologist on esoteric, suppressed history, occult alchemy, giants, aliens, World War II, Antarctica, Nikola Tesla, Lost Civilizations, Beast. Sounds like my kind of person. Thank you, Maximum Weed. Sorry. I have a little bit of a cold. I do.
A little bit of a cold. It's okay.
It's just a little one, though.
Bless you.
I'm not going to be a big pussy about it. The Field Stuff for $19.99. Will you guys ever get into the mounds of America? Yes. Once we get past, and it's going to be a while, but we're going to do ancient architecture, mix in a couple of things because we're going to be leading towards Atlantis always. But we will do once the boys read America before, we'll get into mounds. Audible, read by Graham Hancock. It's fantastic.
I've got his 2 other books.
A lot of giant and also small statured skeletons supposedly found within wide-ranging topics. Yeah, they and they found that the little people have been found like that, but that's in Southeast Asia. But
and we have the pygmies now.
The hobbits. We have pygmies now. We have the hobbits, which were smaller. We have the Denisovans, who were Neanderthal-ish, but really fucking smart and cultured. And Neanderthals were smart and cultured too, like way smarter and cultured than we thought. And we don't. I mean, the best guess is we just all fucked each other.
That's where they went. IWD for $10. The ancestors of the Plains Indians described fighting a 1,000-year war with a race of red-haired giants. Yes. In the 40s, 9-foot mummies found in a cave in Arizona wearing crude armor, allegedly bronze armor, from the massive mines that are in Michigan and other places. Yes. There's also the weird story of Egyptian stuff found in Grand Canyon, never found again. Connor for 5 British pounds. Off topic question. I'm starting doing YouTube videos and I've decided on 2 channels. It is best to split them between 2 separate Google accounts. Well, you can do one Google account. You can have I didn't do this, but you can have a managing Google account and have both your channels under the managing Google account. Either way, you can do separate channels. It doesn't matter. It all goes under one AdSense. You can't do multiple AdSense unless you have like a wife and she starts her AdSense and you connect it to that. But they want to make sure if they can demonetize you, they can demonetize all y'all. All channels. Of them at the same time.
All of them. So my AdSense is connected to Nerdrotic Daily, Nerdrotic Live, and Nerdrotic. Mr. Wolverine 007 for $20. But it honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A Rumble does that too, where they want you to start like kind of an anonymous account, and then you can have your channels under it. It's archaic to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do like that YouTube finally changed their handles. So you could just put @Nerdrotic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it links directly to their channel.
It only took them almost 15 years to do that. It's like, I know, because I started my channel with like this rando Gmail that I never thought I would fucking keep, or I thought I'd be able to change the name, and I never could. Mr. Wolverine 007 for $20. There's 2 rules I have when I research. Rule number 1, never assume the way things work now are the way things have always worked. That's a good rule, Mr. Wolverine. Number 2, we know nothing. Imagine a billboard. What we know about the universe would be a pinhole on the billboard. I'm going to applaud that.
Sound logic.
In the documentary, they mention, things we absolutely were sure of 20 years ago are now being completely rethought. Just 20 years ago.
Even 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's being admitted now.
Life moves pretty fast.
I'll just leave it at that.
The one good thing of the last 3, dude, it's been 3 years, by the way. 3-year anniversary.
I know.
San Francisco shutting down March 16th, and I guess that's everybody else too.
Yeah.
And I knew it was coming. We heard a week ahead because Melissa has a friend on the city Chamber of Commerce, and he said, batten down the hatches. We're shutting everything down in a week. So I even did a live stream going, guys, we're going to be shutting down in a week. So, and that was just for San Francisco, but it's been 3 fucking years. The one lesson that it woke a lot of people up to not completely trust your institutions.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure.
I'd be interested to see. I don't want to see this. if they did it all over again now with the populace and their knowledge of what they did to us, if they would just go lockstep like they did the first time. 'Cause
California would.
that was
New
one of the
York
main
would.
things that got me so bummed because I
Michigan
was
would.
like, so many
You
people.
know who wouldn't?
Florida, Texas,
Sweden.
Sweden.
There'd be certain
Never
places
did.
that would just
They
never
never
do it.
locked down once.
And there'd be some people who flipped. I mean, there'd be some states that flipped, I think, that did it before that wouldn't do it again. But California absolutely would do the same fucking thing.
Oh
So
yeah,
weird.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Illinois,
California.
New Jersey, Delaware.
Yep.
All those
You're getting
blue
ready to do it
havens.
again right now.
I have
Are
no
they
idea
really?
what Canada would do.
Same thing.
Truckers.
Probably just ask
Truckers,
half the
though, that's
population to
pretty
just get into the suicide pods.
But the truckers would, I think, they wouldn't wait.
Not as
Yeah,
long.
they'd
Yeah.
right
The
in the
minute it
beginning.
happened, they would be right back to what and good for them. God bless them. They'd be all because they have a lot of say. Those truckers, they can certainly.
They're the
stop-
lifeblood of society.
They could disrupt a lot of shit if they want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could.
Potato Radio for $10. This is the English translation of the
You want me to go?
Vamanika
Vamanika?
Shastra. I got close, right? Which
Huh?
purports to be an ancient Hindu manuscript on the construction of the use of flying machines, an alleged army field manual, Chilton's Guide. Yeah, I've seen those. Michael Cremo is really into those, and so is David Hatcher Childress. And I've watched it. It's fascinating. Indian culture is fascinating. It's crazy. It's old as fuck. It is so
All right.
old.
I'm gonna get out of here. It's 2 hours. I just wanted to say real quick, rest in peace, Lance Reddick. That was seriously, dude.
R.I.P.
I'm bummed. He voiced one of the like the leaders in one of the games that I play the most, Destiny 2. Yeah, he played Zavala, and he actually played Destiny. He was playing the day before he died. It's kind of
How did
sad.
he die? How did he die? Do we know?
I don't think I can talk about it on YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know. It was sudden,
But it was
healthy,
sudden.
and yeah, he was still working in Hollywood. So,
Yeah, he didn't go to the John Wick 4 premiere, but he did he had a video. He did a selfie with his dogs like the day before, like the Wednesday before he died.
yeah, it's really a bummer. So,
Yep.
but Garrett, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Gary, I'll see you next week.
See you next week, brother.
X-Ray, we see you on Side Scrollers again.
Ooh. At
Soon.
some point.
Again, I don't know.
Whenever.
Mark's joining this week, I think, right?
I don't know.
You're right, Gary?
I'm fine.
Bless you.
I'm fine.
Was that a sneeze?
It was a cough. I got a little.
He's got the black lung pop.
Oh my god, yes.
I gotta watch Zoolander again, dude.
No, you don't.
Great movie.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I've heard almost all the quotes from that movie from the past like decade and a half of people. Oh, you're a model, and then insert Zoolander.
Oh, that's why you're,
and I'm like,
you're biased against Zoolander.
great movie. No, it's great. I mean, funny enough, I know models that are like that are just dumb,
dude.
stupid people.
That's everybody.
My wife was all up in that industry, dude. Yes.
They exist, but
when
also
I pass, you can read my Googly.
It's in the computer.
it's
Oh.
in the computer. That monkey
Blackface
scene
too.
is-
It was so good.
Oh, good, yeah.
yeah. All right, later,
Take it
guys.
easy, man.
See ya.
Bye.
Adam Crigler, ladies and gentlemen. Jacob for $5. Paul Wasili fights deforestation in the Amazon. He said he's seen pyramids in the southeast Peruvian rainforest on the east side of the Andes. Hail all, yeah. And no, there's entire pyramids, there's entire cities, there's giant geometric ground structures, mounds, henges. There's fucking henges. So the same henges they had in the UK, they have in the middle of the fucking Amazon. Weird. Same
Weird.
shit. They really liked their geometry back in the day. Those people with loincloths.
Sacred
on.
geometry.
Yes. Romputt it's almost like they were really desperately trying to hold on to a knowledge in a previous society that was just degrading, and there's nothing you could do to stop it. Like so much of it was gone. So you're willing to dig up earth to preserve it somehow. It meant that much to you, and we've lost it all. And then a few thousand years later, right around the time of Christ dying, before and after, we had multiple religions and multiple cultures destroying library after library after fucking library after like so many burned down in a very, not a small amount of time, but within a few hundred years of each other. And it's no wonder. And then the Antikythera mechanism that we luckily found has woken a lot of people up to, oh, this shit like metal got recycled. It was so rare. And maybe we did know something about ores, or maybe the Egyptians did know about iron ore. That there's little bits of evidence, but you would never.
Where did all the trash go? Where did all the junk go? Recycled.
Thousands of years, they recycled that shit.
They took it and just made it into something else.
You found pottery because nobody gave a fuck about pottery. Okay, it wasn't something you can use to make a weapon or build your next home. Yeah. Rompet what the fuck? Rompot Mechanicus. I'm just retarded.
Mechanicos.
For $10. Thank you for the $10. I'm sorry I butchered your name. If there is another cataclysm event in our lifetime, leaving a layer of plastic as the only evidence of our existence, will scientists in 10,000 years think we naturally occurring substance? Maybe.
Maybe.
But even plastic goes after a certain amount of time.
A long time, but yeah, after it dissolves. Have you seen the photo? There's a photo that it's a Photoshop, but they brought all of the debris that's in the ocean and made a big pie chart out of it, and it showed all of the Western countries are like this part, and then it's like Indonesia is like most of it, and then like Nepal is it's like, if we completely stopped all trash going into the ocean, we wouldn't even really put a dent.
Just go back to fucking glass.
We should. Really should go back to glass.
Yeah. Well, it's too expensive. But I prefer glass. I think glass would be better. Anyway, the Mexican Coke is better, like American Coke.
And a glass bomb.
Shit. Mexican Coke, real cane sugar is better.
Sugar cane.
Yeah. Roll a new for $1.99. Ever do a show on cryptids? That would be sweet. Yeah, we'll do one for sure. Yeah, we did it.
It's on the list.
On the list.
Thank
you. Brett Cormier for $10. Greatest picture ever taken was by Voyager 1. It had been called the pale blue dot, taken by Voyager at 3.7 billion miles away, and shows just how lonely our planet is in the universe. It's very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Robinson for $4.99. UFOs are interdimensional, i.e. demons mostly. No interest to contact, but I've seen ball lightning. Yeah. After talking to Travis Walton, I don't know how big I am on meeting an alien. And I don't think it's not evil.
Why?
It's just complete. They don't give a fuck. You're
because they're like on a completely different level. It's like us and ants.
An animal, like landing on like us and an anthill. So
we're inferior, probably, if they're coming to us.
If they've traveled that far, they've got to be massively.
Well, and especially if you're just a programmed like biological drone, like you're essentially a robot. A meat robot,
just going through programming. Yeah.
Yep. Darmouth for $10. Said, Gary, would you ever have that Star Wars girl on? A while ago, she posted on Twitter that she was going to get Randall Carlson on her show. She also seems to be interested in similar topics on this one. Sure, I'd be open to it.
I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah. Got to know your shit when Randall comes on, though. Or just let him talk. Just go, Randall, what do you think about Atlantis? And then he'll go for 3 hours. That's what I recommend she do. We'll get him on the show eventually. We're gonna go see him in June.
Yep.
We're gonna go see him in June, and I want to get Brothers of the Serpent on. I want to get Uncharted Ben from Uncharted X, Jimmy. We're reaching out to Jimmy, so yeah, we're gonna try to get people on. We want to time it like when they have videos or if they have a book or something, and maybe we can get Randall around the time he's gonna do the Cosmic Summit. That will be dope. But for Anna, I would recommend the 10 Hours of Atlantis. You gotta watch on Randall's channel, which I've listened to all of
deep dive on it
3 times. So, Daddy Magic for $5. Last August, a fictional book based on Datloff Past was released. It was written by Will Jordan. Have you ever heard of him? I think he's on YouTube.
Wait,
What?
really? Did Critical Drinker really write one?
He on Datloff Pass? Yeah, like when I talk to Will, I don't get into his books. I don't want spoilers or anything. We mainly just go, "You fucking see Shazam? That was lame."
That crap.
See that crap? Last message he sent me on WhatsApp was after Gavin. He's like, "So
Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest was about
Datloff Pass?
Datloff Pass.
Oh,
I haven't gotten to that book. That's fucking awesome."
that's cool.
Okay. I got the book. I haven't read it yet, though.
Yeah, I haven't gotten up to it yet. I'm skipping through so many fucking books right now.
Not enough time.
Not enough
Not
time.
time.
Mike Boydus for $20. Have you guys heard of the Silurian hypothesis? Yes. It's another really wild one. Deals with the possibility there were advanced civilization on Earth before humans. Yeah. Like the Silurians from Doctor Who. That's where the
Did they
hypothesis
leave?
comes from. This. So it's basically like Slee Stacks.
Okay.
The Silurians were before Slee Stacks, though. But it's basically there was another civilization that was not human that might have been lizard people, basically.
Oh,
Nick S for $4.99. Hey crew, if you want to check out ball lightning, go to Brown Mountain. Oh, Brown Mountain, the lights on Brown Mountain, those are a trip. So go find Brown Mountain videos after the show of the weird lights.
The ball lightning.
It can't be lightning because sometimes there's no clouds.
Yeah, it just develops around the mountain in
So
some
there
way.
is a weird light that goes all the way back to like Native Americans have. It's like Will o' the Wisp. Will o' the Wisp. Those of you in the UK or in Europe know that. It's like that. Yeah, go check it out. Brown Mountain in North Carolina. Nearly crapped my pants the first time I saw it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Mario V on Streamlabs for $5. Hey gang, I love the show. I learned a lot from you all. I know it's not much, but I finally did it. I want to plug my first video. Good. Please visit Dawn Striker 54 on YouTube. It's all one word, Dawn Striker 54, and watch my review of Hogwarts Legacy. I plan on streaming and reviewing RE4, Resident Evil 4. I even know that one. Next. There you go. Good luck. Joseph Donnelly for $4.99. Graham Hancock is one of the best Rogan's best early guests. His rant on war on drugs is legendary. I know, it's fucking so good. It's such a waste of time, by the way.
Yeah.
I read Fingerprints of the God.
Failure.
The one he wrote, High. Yeah, he had quit pot for a long time, and then he relapsed on Joe Rogan's
Joe Rogan's show.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But like we didn't know, like after America Before, like Graham almost died, or is it before America Before? Yeah, Graham almost died. He was on a ventilator and like dead. He was dead.
From what?
This was 2019, not long ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not long ago. Wow.
Yeah, Wartooth 88 for $2. Check out the North Sea Object. First time as super chat, by the way. Oh, thank you, Wartooth 88. We appreciate it, and we will check that out. Coco for Kosh for $5. When we go back to the moon, we eat. Easy to prove. The first thing Elon will do is look for a lunar module landing gear. Yeah, well, you can see it. It's there. It's there. Like there's pictures of it. There's people who found it. Anime Sketch 88 for $2. Hail, I draw cartoons, anime, ink, What do you think? I think it's awesome, but I can't see any of them. I'd love to see it. Coco Frakash for $5. When we get back to the moon, I already read that one. Ymir Reviews for $2. Where did the three giants come from? Their mom?
Three giants.
Their giant mother? And there was okay, so there's tons of giant mythology in Native American culture, Greek culture, all through the Mediterranean. There's a whole island called the Island of the fucking Giants.
Jewish culture.
Yeah, Jewish culture. It's everywhere. So there's got to be something to it. Sorry, last one. Potato Radio. It's okay. You don't have to say sorry for $5. Often overlooked pun are dwarf people, India, Europe, Hawaiian, Monahoon. They all work in stone, hide from people. Yeah, that one had to come from somewhere too. Crash 6674 for $20. Our great legacy that we will leave 10,000 years from now was going to be melted down husks of nuclear power plants and mountains of trash in landfills. Everything else will be wiped out. Think on that one for a minute. Well, over enough time, the trash in the landfill will be gone. Like Earth takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And it just moves on. We're here in Texas. Me and Quarter Black Garrett. We are sitting currently on what was the bottom of the ocean, bottom of a sea for millions of years. That's why it's all limestone here. Millions and millions of years, this was just the bottom of an ocean. Yeah. And the rock where I'm standing on, that my house is on, that some of it is made of, is a bunch of dead sea life. And their shit turned into stone, basically. So, yeah, Earth takes care of itself, man.
Pretty much anywhere you go, you can find stones that have fossils, like old, like shellfish and stuff that are in the stone. Like not just like it was mud and then it got in, like it was the stone. So yeah, really
it's
old.
All limestone. It's all limestone. Yeah. Like I said, we have the nicest like rest stops, the state rest stops. So I went in one. It's a fucking museum. There was arrowheads. There was limestone broken over, and you can see shellfish. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
On the inside.
Really?
I just wanted to take a piss, and now I'm in a museum. It's kind of nice. And there's somebody working there. It was 3 a.m. Like, what is this place?
Yeah, we don't mess around.
I like that. I like it. California rest stops will be closed and nobody will ever work there. And chances are there'll be some hobo wanting to jerk you off or some crack or something.
Oh.
Aaron Bacon for £5 V6. Buzz Aldrin tried multiple times to tell Trump something at press conference for the launch of Space Force that would, could that be what we didn't go? I'm not sure. I remember when people laughed at Trump for Space Force. They even made a fucking dumb show on HBO making fun of Space Force. Why did you watch it? I'm all about Space Force. I think it's fucking awesome.
Had Steve Carell in it. I thought it was funny.
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's Hollywood now.
Yep.
A great book to check out for you all to check out about giants and ancient cultures is The Genesis 6 Conspiracy Theory by Gary Wayne. I know the book. Thank you, James B. Clarko, for $5. IWD for $5. Egyptian stuff wasn't just found in Colorado. DNA testing done on Cherokee Indians has them with Semitic and North African markers. Wow. I did not know that. I have to look into that. I did not know that. Digitals for $5. Well, what Graham Hancock found in America before was there is a lot of similarities with a tribe from the South. I think it was in Tennessee. There's a couple tribes, and their religion mirrors Egyptian religion, like almost perfectly.
Really?
To where your journey. You have your Book of the Dead, right? And your Journey of the Dead takes you through certain astrological points in the sky. It takes you through, I can't remember if it's Orion or not, but it takes you down the Milky Way. And basically they have the same journey. It's really weird. Really weird how so much stuff connects. and they're separated by thousands of years and hundreds and thousands of miles. So how did they have a very eerily similar religion if it wasn't passed down multiple times?
It was really interesting, the Native Americans' religions, how they're so, it's like they're all in this area, but they have so many different types of beliefs. Like the Roanoke's, when they landed, there was the Roanoke's, and then there's another tribe. I can't remember what the other tribe was called. But one of the tribes, their religion matched up so well with Catholicism. It was like the exact same religion. There was one God, and then there was a Messiah figure that came down and then saved all of their souls, and they can only go to like the heaven through that one. It was so interesting because like they landed in this place, were completely separated, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
And they had something that they believed in that were so aligned with each other. And that's just one tribe, and there's so many different tribes across North America and South America that believed all these different things.
Dang. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
No,
Very
I don't
cool.
believe in I don't believe in them
interesting.
coincidences. Digitalis for $5. Death whistle wasn't a toy. It wasn't. No, it was a hunting call. The Aztecs love sacrificing non-Aztecs.
Croatoan.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
They still make them. Like I just looked it up on Amazon. You can get a death whistle.
What?
So-
You can get one. I'm gonna get one.
I don't know if they like it's made to the specs of an Aztec
Death whistle.
death whistle, but yeah, I looked it up. It said Amazon death whistle. I'm like, whoa.
Aztec.
IWD for $5. Also, a fleet of Roman ships in Brazil, which the government buried in sand. I heard that one, and I believe that. I think the Romans could easily have made it across the Atlantic freaking Ocean, like easily. They had heating. They had fucking central heating. Tell me those clever Italians couldn't have made it across the ocean? Yes, they could have. If they weren't busy
You want to hear the death whistle?
fucking each other all the time. That's what they're doing. No, I'm just-
Sure. I'm interested.
So it's the one that's on Amazon.
Oh. That is insane.
Could you imagine hearing that? You're in the jungle.
And you're like, nope, wasn't a death whistle.
Nope.
Me and the wife having a little fun.
That's creepy, man.
It is.
Oh my God. It sounds so authentic.
You can have your own death whistle for $29.99.
$29.99. P Gray 128 for $5. Good show. Keep them going. We will. These are tons of fun, and they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better as we do this more.
Yeah.
Ron Think Geek for $5. If y'all haven't, you should do an episode on the Stargate project. I would love to. The basis for the men who stare at goats. Yep.
Oh yeah.
You need
I
to
know
have
that story.
Yeah. Well, one of the guys who worked on that show was Colonel Ed Danes, who I think is a kook, who claims to be one of the. Oh, I'm blanking on what he does now. Remote viewing.
Yes.
viewing.
That's what the men who stare at goats.
Yeah,
is
it's
all
about
remote viewing.
but like with the real guy who did remote viewing, that shit is weird and it was real. And it's hard to get your head around it, but Art did a bunch of interviews with him. There's documentaries with him where, they sent a guy out to stand under a bridge in Palo Alto, right? Because a lot of this was in the Bay Area. So they had their group remote viewing, and they would draw, and they would just go focus on this person. They wouldn't tell you where he was or anything, and they sure as shit, he's under a bridge in Palo Alto. It's like, how in the fuck do you do that? So because we're all connected, man.
We're all energy, and we're connected to the energy. If you could tap into it, you take some ayahuasca.
Take some ayahuasca.
You're right in
Joe
there.
Rogan. Wrong Think Geek for $5. If y'all have, I read that one. Decky 69 for $5. You need to have Randall on. He is based as fuck. I know Randall's based. Watch the latest episode. He goes off and it's glorious. No, I haven't watched his latest. No, he like CO2 is plant food. Like I know he goes off on the environment, and I love it when he does that. Yeah, I guess maybe I just need to leave a super chat to ask him to come on, because
I guess, yeah.
tried to email him. We aren't getting back, but there's other people we want to get on too, including the two gentlemen who live stream with him, who I watch, as well as Brothers of the Serpent, who are Texas homies, by the way. Mitch Jenisic for $5. The Bible talks about people living over 900 years. You could get pretty smart in that amount of time. You could. And maybe people could live longer. Maybe some were 900 years. Maybe just, some were a couple hundred.
Yeah.
You'd also get pretty jaded. Like, I don't know.
I'd imagine you would. But if everybody you knew lived that long,
mythology was better 700 years ago. Crash 6674 for $5. I was thinking more near term, more along the lines of the next civilization, looking back at us like the pyramids. Yeah, there was a Mad magazine that did that, and it had the king and queen with toilet bowls on their head, which was pretty funny.
I love Mad magazine.
I did back in the day. Cameron Love for $5, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Cameron Love for £5 British. What would you call a woke droid? What do you call a woke droid from Star Wars? R2 Me Too. Oh, Torchwood Gal for $2. What's the book about Egyptians in Tennessee? It's called America Before by Graham Hancock. So what he does is he connects, because he is well versed in spirituality and multiple religions. He was able to connect the dots, literally in this case, with an American tribe and Egypt and the Egyptian religion. Pretty crazy. America Before by Graham Hancock. Bearded physicist. I always want to say cat. Physicist for $5. Not trying to
you got it.
Proselytize?
Proselyte, anyone? That's fine. But the Book of Mormon talks about a group who wrote Egyptian leaving Jerusalem and settling in America somewhere. Yes, it did. It did. You want to know how I know that? Because Mike Allred adapted the Book of Mormon, the Golden Tablets, right, into a comic.
Really?
Yeah. Mike Allred's fucking awesome. He did Madman. He's a good artist. The Grizzly for $5. Could you guys not do the death whistle again? I had my headphones on and would like to end tonight without tennis. Thanks.
I gave you a warning.
Jim Howard for £5 British. Gary, when you and Melissa are over here in the UK, by all means, go to Stonehenge, but make sure you visit Avebury, which I've done, and its surrounding. Silbury Hill, etc. I have been there. It's a giant mound. Yeah, and
I can't wait to go see those.
Yeah, Garrett and X-Ray Girl will be with us.
Let's go. Field trip.
Field trip. And Adam's talking about maybe being able to
awesome
pop over.
We're also going to Oxford to visit Tolkien's grave and all kinds.
Of course, I'm going to go to Sherlock Holmes's apartment.
Yeah, that's in London.
221B.
Yeah, that's
South Baker
London.
Street.
There's a statue there, and we're also going to go to Abbey Road and walk across the street.
We go to the torture museum.
Yeah, we can do it all.
That sounds fun.
And Jack the Ripper tour.
Yeah, you can go. Abbey Road is a busy street, though, so
you can't slowly walk across it.
You can, but you got to wait till the cars go, because they won't. They'll get really pissed off if there's a bunch of
freaking tourists.
Yeah, you can go by Abbey Road Studios is there. It'd be pretty cool. Jimmy Collins for $5. Gary, drop every book you're reading and pick up The Haunted Mesa by Luis L'Amour. Oh, why? Luis L'Amour. It's one of my favorites, and yours too, right now. Trust. I have some of Luis's books, so I might have that one. I did because I saw Perry post that picture, and I'm an impulse dude. I got a bunch of old Ian Fleming Bond novels. I got them all, actually. I got a whole
I have all the audiobooks. I want to get the actual.
I have the collection of old paperbacks. So a lot of them first print. Covers are amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna read those. Those are quick reads. You can do that in an afternoon. John F for $10. Have you guys heard of Hutchinson Effect and John Hutchinson? He was on Art Bell and is amazing. I will look into it. I remember you asking last week. IWD, this is the last one for $10. The Mediterranean empires were very advanced. Hanno, the navigator, penetrated Africa well into the Congo via rivers, took back gorilla pelts, and even have made it as far as Okinawa. Yeah, the Greeks are older and more advanced. Even that's what the Egyptians told Solon. That like you don't even know your own history. You go way back. And the Antikythera mechanism is like smoking gun. That's an absolutely smoking gun. The guy who found it, his analogy was it was like finding a jet engine in Tutankhamun's tomb. That's how crazy this thing. That the Antikythera mechanism invented the differential gear. It had a differential gear. So a differential gear is so two things can go at different speeds, right? You have one in your car, okay, for when you turn, and your wheels can go at different speeds to keep you from, So it had a differential gear, so two of the wheels could go at different speeds to mimic that oval that the moon makes, because the moon doesn't orbit the Earth perfectly. Are you coming to Scotland? Asked James Norman for £2 British.
Yes.
Maybe.
I've got a Scottish last name, but it's from the black side of my family. But I know that they have kilts there that have that pattern, so I need to go get one.
Yeah.
You're going to wear kilts like the way that, was it?
The way it's meant to be worn.
Okay.
I'm mostly Scottish, so I'd like to go. I'd very much like to go. But my birth last name is like it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knight. That's my birth. That's what I was.
Badass.
That's the name I was given when I was born. My last name, my sperm donor last name is Knight. So that's where my actual bloodline comes from. But
yeah, I'd love to go see Scotland.
That would be awesome. And it's possible. I mean, because the UK it's like driving around Texas, except smaller. We'd have to take cars. My wife is just like, no, like I can drive there. I can figure it out.
How does that work? If you go to the UK, you just get to drive
on the
around
other side and do everything backwards.
But you don't have a license. Do you have to?
Pedals will be on the opposite side. Everything will be opposite.
I drove in Ireland.
Okay, so you're like, hey, I've got a license in America or Canada.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, good.
Do they give you an American side rental?
No. So what I did was I rented a car. It was supposed to be a manual car, a stick car. And as soon as they hear your accent, they'll upgrade you for free to an automatic car.
Yeah. They're like, these Americans, these Canadians, they can't drive this.
Yeah,
so just get a regular.
No way. And I'm like, dude, Italy, for one, in Italy, they drive on our side of the road and they drive effing fast. And it was great. I loved it. I love
fast cars there.
I was in Sicily just fucking hauling ass. Whoop. Great. There's a road to visit that whole island. And I told you about that tunnel. It's like the most expensive. Like we don't have shit like this. This tunnel looked like straight up Euro money built this. They built a fucking tunnel for most of the island, or not most, but like miles and miles and miles in a volcano, an active volcano that when you go through there, you could smell the sulfur and all that shit.
It's awesome.
Crazy stuff. It was fun. God, that was fun. God, I want to go back. I want to go back. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Probably continue this conversation because these guys got to watch the part 2 of the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 is really good because they go back and they double check all their measurements. So it's like an hour, and they double check all their measurements. A lot of it's in French. One of the guys died. The stonemason died in 2020.
Really? Oh man. R.I.P.
Yeah, he was awesome too.
Yeah.
So, but they get into like the pyramids are the Great Pyramid's octagonal. Did you know that?
Oh,
Mhm.
Yes.
So
there is
all of
a
the pyramids
line
like in that
that goes
area.
in, and so it's not a flat side. They go in slightly, and it's minuscule. So each brick they put on in the middle had to be a centimeter in, a centimeter
on purpose.
metric again, on purpose the whole way up to get a little lean in. Yeah, this is a work of genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you make an error, it amplifies the higher you get and the more levels you make. So yeah, they'd have to be precise at the very base, every layer up. Amazing. I can't wait to see them.
All right. Voice is about to go.
And hey, if you are following the channel, you're a subscriber to the channel, you will get the homework for next week in the community section.
Yep.
That's where we're posting it. So look out for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out in the community section. That's where you will get your homework. You will have to do homework for the show. I know it's so hard. We're having to watch Randall and these fun documentaries, and
it makes it fun. This is like school.
Yeah.
My forte.
Except we're all learning together.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, there's a Twitter. We're slowly rolling it out. FF Show Official.
Yeah,
official. Forbidden Frontier was too many letters, unfortunately. So if you can follow.
Excuse me. I'm all about it. I need to follow it. All right.
Me too.
Might have done it for you.
Go check out Randall's live stream too. His last live stream. I haven't done it yet, but go check it out. Randall's awesome. Tell him I love him.
Say hey.
Only in a slightly gay way.
Forbidden Frontier, we love you.
We love you. Semi-homo. Semi. What do you got coming up, Garrett?
Tomorrow, Base Staff with Adam Crigler on the Crigler channel. And then after that, Camelcast with Camelot. Hang out with him after that. So
are you going to do the fight
Are you going to do it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not going to say no to that. Doing it all. So that's what I'm up to.
All right. How about you, X-Ray Girl?
I'm going to be up all night tonight. So whenever I wake up tomorrow morning, guess what? Conan Exiles.
Yeah.
So I'll be playing that, and find me on YouTube, Rumble, Locals. I'm around.
All right. Heavy J for 22 Canadian pesos says, all hail FF. I have a theory I'd like to send you guys about Mars, building on the work of John Brandenburg. Gary at nerdrotic.com. Send it. I'll forward it to these two cats. Crazy cats. We'll take a look at it. Thank you, Heavy J. Love to hear your theory. Appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. I just released a video today. That one turned out better than I thought it would. And I'm not to toot my own horn or anything like that. I'm just like, when I first started the article, I'm like, is this going to go anywhere? And then I dug deeper in it. Yeah. So good job editing, my friend. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Did you like the cameo of X-Ray Girl?
I did. I laughed my ass off at the end.
Did I do something with white?
Yes, it was.
White giants? No, I'm joking.
Right.
People.
Yeah, you make So you caught the Matrix reference right away at the end, didn't you? Well, because I ended it with something really close to that. I'm like, I might as well just do the exact same thing.
It. I like it too, because you were like, I'm gonna talk right to you, Hollywood, and then I'll leave it up to you. And it's like, get out of the Matrix. Get out of the Matrix, Hollywood. Unplug.
Die.
The ending of that movie is so good.
It's good, and I like the riff of Rage for the Machine. I really do.
Yeah.
Dang it, little stupid commies.
Yeah, I know. They make a good riff.
Well, Wachowski's did. That's a great movie.
It's
by itself.
Fantastic movie.
It is one of the greatest movies ever made. Like, I could watch it right now. I might. I got it on 4K. So I'm in Star Trek mode, dude. I am so I'm gonna watch some. So we are gonna review Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes, I'm in the process of watching season 1. I'm actually gonna go watch the rest of it right now when I leave. I'm gonna
Okay,
go
so what,
paint and
April
watch.
18th when it airs, we'll start reviewing it like the week at, because I think it's on Tuesdays. So it'll be a while, but
So it drops,
you'll be
right?
able to watch it. You'll get a week to watch it, and then we'll review an episode and then we'll like do a segment on it,
Sweet.
right? Each week.
So that means you out there, you have homework too.
You have homework too.
It's fun homework though.
There's got to be something at that ranch. My Travis impression.
Yeah, I love his
Something
accent.
strange going
Alabama,
on here.
Alabama. We got to get scientists out here, get it checked out.
Yeah, no, it's a good show. I like it. I like Brandon Frugal's a fucking. There's a top G. That guy's got
Dude.
Got a fucking helicopter. He's like, I'll fly out there in my
I got my brother. He's gonna fly you around.
my brother to fly me out there in a helicopter. It's like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Right on. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. It's a guilty pleasure, man. I freaking love that show, and I'm watching it again tonight. Then I'm watching Star Trek, dude.
I need to keep watching. I watched the first one with you. Early.
Well, you can now watch.
And,
you can now watch the rest. You can watch 5 episodes, dude. That's halfway through the season. You're halfway through.
Skinwalker, Star Trek,
You
Skinwalker,
do
Star
both.
Trek.
Why do you have to choose? You do one episode or the other. That's what
I'll get my wife's phone and my phone, and I can watch both. Like
Both at the same time, multitasking.
You have a thing called? Do you not have televisions?
I do, but it's over there, and I'm painting over here.
On it, or
Oh.
And the kids are usually on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I feel it. Okay, so I've got a monitor here it's got no sound, but it's always playing like a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings movie. Then I've got my monitor over there that's always playing Ancient Aliens. Then I have 2 monitors here what I work on. Then there's the home theater that I use for good shit. But when I watch,
I've got so many monitors. I've got an extra one.
There you go. I watch bad shit on my computer, so I don't watch good stuff on my phone. I don't dirty my home theater with things like Velma. Or no, I watch it on my computer. The home theater is reserved
Small as possible
for good stuff, for things I like. For things I like. All right. You guys be good out there. Thanks to the Nerdrotics for all your help. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. We appreciate you. See you next week. Thanks for supporting the show. It's doing great. You guys are really getting the word out there. So thank you. Thank you for signing up for the memberships. This is going to be my retirement job, so I appreciate all of us. So thank you.
So fun.
And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.